Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots, a dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say's a gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
That was a really great basketball game last night. And Greg Cody insists that he's right about the Dolphins, and I will get to those things in a second. But I have to start with our old friend, Greg Cody, limping in here with his trick knee and a cane that has made him emotional for good reason. Jeremy asked me during the intro, is wailing atop bawling, sobbing, and weeping? Because I think wailing is, if we're talking about being in tears, I think weeping is the beginning of the highway toward your falling apart. Weeping is the beginning of that. I think it goes weeping, sobbing, bawling, wailing.
Where's crying?
Crying's the starting point. Crying is ground zero.
But where do you have blubbering on that list? Because blubbering, I don't know if that's above wailing, but it's right there.
Blubbering has to be above sobbing, doesn't it? Although sobbing has some blubbering, does it not?
Blubbering's a cartoon word.
I think hysterical is obviously that's a very deep cry. I think wailing is the deep cry with like that's a wail, okay? And blubbering, you also have snot bubbles.
Blubbering is the...
Yeah, that's snot bubbles.
No, that's sniveling.
That's sobbing
that's
as
sniveling.
well, though. That's sobbing too, though.
So what are we calling this? We're calling this the Tears of Tears?
That's what we're doing, Roy.
Good
we're
start for
doing
Roy.
the Tears of Tears.
An important tier, the No Shaw Moreno during the national anthem tier. Where does that rank? Because that is a massive tier.
Yeah.
That's the fight in Detroit. That's what that is.
All right, you guys got to figure out how it is to get me to the best of the ugly criers you've ever seen in sports, because now we have to get to who classifies for wailing, bawling, sobbing, weeping in the history of sports.
A good crier in sports, Thomas Hill. After Christian Laettner makes the shot, Thomas Hill, ugly crier.
Can you guys think off of the top of your head of some time you have seen an athlete just sobbing? Oddly enough, the image that surprises me as we talk about it is Udonis Haslem in the Heat locker room in 2006. I don't think that's something that was public, but I just was startled by it because it's someone since I'd covered since high school, and all of his emotion never looked like that. Like, obviously, you know how much he cares.
That was sobbing.
But that was sobbing, and I was just caught off guard by it.
I think sobbing has a volume to it. Like, I don't think you sob quietly. I think if you're sobbing, someone else with their eyes closed knows it. That guy's sobbing, because sobbing is a heaving.
I think everything after weeping that we described here has a sound to it that you can hear with your eyes closed.
How about Nancy Kerrigan? But that was more pain inflicted.
Okay, but that was sobbing. That's wailing. That's wailing.
Waylon Jennings.
I knew that was coming.
He's right about that,
As soon
though.
as we said whaling.
You have to.
Anyway, the emotion that we were talking about with your cane. You come in here in a cane. Your son told us yesterday. I also want to get to Jumpin' Charlie because you were complaining about his weight gain and how generally unruly he is, your dog. But Chris is alleging, the reason we're talking about wailing, sobbing, and gnashing and all of these things is because Chris is alleging that you get more emotional now than you ever have, and you get emotional, he's claiming, over some small things like him just telling you that your granddaughter went to soccer practice. So what's happening with your cane right now?
Well, here it is. Here it's a lovely wooden cane that
Are you gonna cry now? Because if you are, I gotta mentally prepare.
No, I'm
I
not.
would prepare yourself.
No, I'm not gonna cry right now. But this cane, I believe it was bought in a deep South general store, like in North Carolina or someplace, and it was my dad's late in his life when he used the cane, and this cane had not been touched for more than a decade. It had been.
I did use it as my first foray as the owner of the Cyclones. I
That's
had the
true, you
cowboy
did.
hat and
You're
the
right.
cane.
Yeah, but I don't
outside
think-
of that, it hadn't been
Is
used
that
in a
desecrating
decade.
it or no?
I think it is desecration.
just making sure.
Yeah.
I think
Well
that's
put by
honoring
Tony.
it. I think. Wait a minute. What do you
It
think?
fit the character.
We need the judge. Is that honoring him or is it desecrating it? We'll get to the rest of the story, but let's make Zaslow.
Give me the details again, real quick.
Make a ruling. Greg Cody was alleging that this cane of his father's, Wild Bill Cody, had not been used in 10 years. It had been in the garage or somewhere else.
Yeah, it had been on two nails on top of a door in the garage.
Okay, so
had not been used by me in more than a decade.
all right, hold on a second. Before we go down this path, that garage is an atrocity. If there is anything being honored,
My atrocity.
it is your atrocity. That garage has been an atrocity for 40 years. It is dirty. It is out of saw. It is awful. But if there is anything being honored in there, I might think that that's the only thing because there's nothing else that you put up on a wall that's been above the door in your garage since your father was alive, I feel
Yes,
like.
Correct. Yes. Absolutely.
When did he pass away?
2006?
Okay, so that's the only thing in your garage that is an honor of any kind to anyone.
Yeah, right.
All right, so he's saying that it hadn't been taken off for 10 years, but one day, old parasol-wielding owner of the Cyclones comes in there and says, I need something funny as an outfit for my owner of a highlight team. And he reaches up there. It's probably dusty, right? It's probably got, because I don't see your father cleaning that a whole lot. You reach up there and you grab what you think is a gimmick to give to give your ownership of the highlight team some personality. And so the question before Zaz is, was Chris Cody honoring Wild Bill Cody, or was he desecrating what was happening with Wild Bill Cody?
All rise. The Honorable Jonathan Zaslow now presiding with prejudice.
I need one final piece of information, and it comes from Greg Cody. Did you know that Christopher was taking the cane for this event?
I don't believe I did.
Now, with that said, how would you have felt if you knew that he was taking it for this event?
I would have been taken aback a little bit. I would have been surprised.
I made my ruling.
Whoa.
It's a disgrace.
Oh, my God.
With prejudice.
Unforgivable.
Unforgiven. That's all I needed to hear. That's the only information I needed right there. That's a disgrace.
Well,
I support the ruling.
Okay, if it's true, if it is indeed true, and I'm not sure it is because I can see Greg forgetting, but I can also see his son not asking permission because he knew that permission was going to be no. That
Ask for forgiveness. Learn that from around here.
Ask for forgiveness, not for permission. Yeah, I was trying to teach that the entire time at ESPN. They never really believed in it. So tell us the story then. Forgive us for interrupting you. Excellent ruling. Tony, good work by you. In fact, delayed penalty on Chris Cody for desecrating Wild Bill Cody's cane.
A penalty for that?
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, asshole.
Very specific penalty.
It's 2 minutes for. It's not 2 minutes, comma Like, I don't know why they read it like that. It might be because they don't know how to do comedy. Who did that?
You know who did that.
It's 2 minutes.
Come on, you know.
It's 2 minutes for being an asshole, and it should be 5 minutes. Anyway, tell us the story
Okay,
of the cane,
I'm
please.
just curious, though, in the history of the show, who is the previous person penalized for desecrating a cane? I'm just curious how common that particular
I was
ruling
once disrespectful of Warren Sapp. Come on,
I
that's
saw
a
what you
good
did
joke.
there. I saw what you did
Come
there.
on, that's
No,
a
I saw
good
what you did
joke.
there.
In the
Yeah.
local hour, a cane joke?
No, that's
Oh,
No, it wasn't bad.
Prejudice.
Thank you, Roy.
the bad breath joke.
It wasn't bad.
Oh, man, it's a legendary joke. Stugotz got me in trouble with Warren Sapp for saying that he had chronic halitosis.
Did he?
Yeah, but I told him that privately.
The truth is the best defense.
Anyway, the story of your cane.
Okay. I didn't realize how much this cane meant to me until I started actually using it as a cane, and it just made me think of my dad a lot. And sometimes, if I do get emotional on my podcast, I say things that are embarrassing and that I instantly wish I hadn't said. But I admitted on my current episode that dropped yesterday that, and I'm embarrassed to say it now, but I was alone in my house one day.
Go on.
And I kissed the cane and embraced it. And it felt good to do that
Why would you be embarrassed to say that?
because I'm kissing a piece of wood.
It reminds you of your late father, though.
Yeah,
like
for
you
sure.
have very few things that keep him alive. This would be one of them. Very few material things that would keep him alive, certainly. And so, that's a beautiful story. You shouldn't be embarrassed by that.
Well, thank you.
And in fact, I would say that after a lifetime of knowing you to be somewhat repressed with your feelings, it's not surprising to me that late in life, as you consider your mortality, you consider your dad's frailty when you didn't know him to be a frail man, but at the end he needed to walk with a cane, and you stubbornly tell your son that you don't want to use this cane, but you come in with it today. So you changed your mind here in the last couple of days. Something happened? Because he said that Erlene was very frustrated with you because you weren't using the cane at home.
Right. Yeah. I think my knee's fine. I don't need anything. But she and I saw the physical therapist yesterday for my first session, and he said I should use the cane a little bit longer as well. So I'm pleased to use the cane.
The Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. Does it have any other things in it that are teasable? Things that would make people go over there to hear about an old man hugging his wooden walking stick?
Kissing the shaft.
I talked a lot about
Your father.
Desecrating again. He's desecrating
No,
again.
I'm
by the way.
giving
Just
details to the audio
desecrating
audience.
your
They don't know.
grandfather's
Could have been the tip.
last
Could have
will
been the
and testament.
handle.
Penalty, 2 minutes, asshole.
I don't know. If I'm listening, if I'm only listening, I don't know where he kissed it.
There is a funny exchange on the podcast. He says, "Did you kiss the tip?" Come on.
He just did the shaft joke.
Again,
he was thinking
desecrated.
about it all night, and you did.
He said he saved that one for here.
The tip was an exclusive. Thank you, Chris.
Nothing is sacred.
You're doing great work. The tip was an exclusive when you're executive producing the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody.
Nothing is sacred.
You turn it into the shaft when you're in here.
Yes.
I mean, your father's talking about what your grandfather means to him, and you're talking about kissing a shaft.
I need your support.
Thank you, Zaslow, for the support of thank you for
Thank you for that clarification.
Thank you for the support that is needed around here because that's disrespectful. We'll get to the Heat game in a second, and we'll get to Greg Cody being right in a second. But why has Jumping Charlie gotten fat?
Well,
How old's he?
he's three and a half. Still a young dog, fully grown, but somehow growing. No, he's. I think he's pushing 100 pounds now, 90, 95, and he just doesn't get enough exercise. We tried taking him to the dog park. He won't have it. He does run like a maniac in my backyard, but that's only so big, and so he gains a little bit of weight. But there was a funny aside in the podcast when I'm trying to have a serious conversation with my granddaughter about her betrayal on her punishment powers vote, and in the background,
What does that mean?
I mean,
What did you just say?
No,
Word vomit.
What did you just say? My
everybody
granddaughter.
I need your support.
Greg.
I needed her support, and she didn't give it.
Greg.
What?
You can't say my granddaughter. You got to give the audience more than that. You can't assume that everyone listening to this listens to every episode of the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody and knows what your granddaughter's betrayal means.
Right.
What was the phrase you used after that?
The punishment powers. We had a PFPI commissioner proposed a punishment power in which repeated offenders on the weekly deadline to submit picks would go through a series of warnings leading up to an eventual one-game
Tony has
penalty.
a question.
Dan, when he talks about the PFPI and talks about the commissioner, isn't he the commissioner of said league?
Yes, I am.
So why didn't you just say I put together a vote instead of the commissioner? It feels like that's more grandiose.
I'm speaking in the third person because I'm honoring the office of the commissioner. You know, whenever I refer to the league, it's uppercase L.
I always turn in my picks late, so my dad, the commissioner, proposed, hey, if you're late more than a few times, you get punished. And we went around, everyone voted on whether this was fair, and it all came down to my daughter.
Wow.
And we needed a 5-3 majority vote. It ended up being a 4-4 vote. And I was betrayed by my youngest son, Michael, and by my granddaughter. I anticipated both of their support and got neither.
I need your support.
Exactly. Yes, I did. And she didn't give it. And so I was
I need your support.
And so, I was asking her on the podcast why she voted like she did. And in the middle of that serious conversation, the dog and the cat are hissing and clawing and just acting like animals in the background. It was ridiculous.
They are. They
I
are.
know, but they don't have to act like it on my air.
Okay, well, they act like animals, at least in part because the cat is untrainable as a cat, and you've poorly trained Jumpin' Charlie. You sent him out for boot camp, and he learned a few things that he does when he's at boot camp, but then he does whatever he wants at your house, and I've seen, like, this dog is unreasonable, and what's happening here between, like, I'm surprised that this doesn't escalate. Let's see, does this have sound? Because the video's great, but here is the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. You will see in the foreground, you will see his beloved cane that he hugs while weeping or sobbing or wailing, and you should, you should not call that the tip or the shaft. It's his beloved uncle.
His father did.
His Wild Bill Cody's cane. And that's in the foreground. This is a work of art, what's happening right here in terms of look back into the past, and here's what the 1950s looked like.
Somebody in the league.
Charlie and the cat. Hold on, Dad. We're getting a free show right here for our YouTube channel. Okay. That's 2 hisses from Charlie. from Ollie.
No.
Hey, Charlie, no.
That dog is not trained. That is not a trained animal. What did he tear up there?
He goes, look at this jerk.
What did he tear apart? There was fluff all over the place.
Get some control your
like
house.
a blanket that stays on that couch.
Yeah, it's a dog blanket. It's fine.
It's fine. He's got fragments of blanket in his mouth.
I know,
How is
he's
that?
a dog.
How?
That dog will kill me one day. I thought about that walking on a cane the other day. If that dog unintentionally runs into me and knocks me off my pins, I'm in trouble.
That has happened to me at the dog park with my dog, where he hits me in the legs and I go straight down face first.
I fear
which
that.
is you don't want to have happen at a dog park because face first is just shit and urine.
Like, isn't that Dan Le Batard?
Right. Yes, it was me.
Doesn't he hire a dog walker?
He gets up, he's got on his face.
I mean, I could have.
I think that's Dan.
I could. It could have absolutely happened. Like, but for the grace of God, do I not have all over my face as my dog has taken out one of my pins, as he called it. So where are you on the cane? So you've come around and now, because I got to tell you, you walked in here today and you looked regal. I don't know. I have very rarely in my life felt softer toward you than watching you walk in here. You don't like to show weakness. You don't. You're a stubborn old man.
Didn't the doctor tell you you're holding the cane with the wrong hand?
Yes, that's the first. No, not the doctor, the physical therapist yesterday. He, in the first 5 seconds of seeing me, he says, "You're holding the cane wrong." We're going to get to that right away.
Well, it is funny. It's your right knee, correct?
Yeah.
You've been holding the cane in your left hand the entire time.
Well, that's the correct time, the correct way.
It is?
Yes. Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Look it up. as I like to say.
So you're saying you had it in your right hand when he told you were doing it incorrectly?
I
don't know about that.
I thought
he's wrong.
That you're keeping weight off of the leg.
I thought so too, erroneously. No, all the cane people out there, all my canes stand up, but carefully. They're all
the
saying,
cane is in
Exactly. Thank you.
It's a golden cane.
No, everybody's nodding like a bobblehead because I'm right.
The cane is in replacement of the leg.
All I can tell you is
I think you've got a quack.
According to Google AI, Greg Cody is right.
You
hold it in the opposite hand of your weak or injured leg.
Hello.
I need your support.
Hello. You don't trust me.
You were
I've been
wrong.
walking this earth for 70 years.
I mean, in our defense, you were wrong yesterday.
Gaining information every step of the way.
I want to get that off the ground as a celebration when you are maximum right about something. You summon some Ethel Merman, some Shirley Temple, and you just say, hello.
Yeah, and if you want to make the E and A, I don't object. Hello.
You know he's going to be done in hour 2, right? He's got nothing left after this.
What a heater. Like, he has given us 25 minutes of flames. He's throwing 107 out of the bullpen. I've missed him so much. He's never been weaker or stronger.
I don't have eyebrows.
I mean, he singed me. He is totally on fire. Can you tell me the hello? That's as victorious as I've ever heard you. It's the world's strangest victory lap. And I can't believe you're right about this. I believe that the audience sides with us in thinking that the cane is something that is put on the side of the body so that you're not making the leg that is surgically repaired weight-bearing.
I thought the exact same thing. For days, I was walking like this. Because it was my right knee.
And that does keep pressure off it. It makes it hurt less to walk that way, right? The other way, you're putting full weight on your right knee.
That's what I would have thought, but that's the first thing the physical therapist said. He identified a man using a cane in his wrong hand and instructed me. And sure enough, it's accurate. It doesn't make any sense to me either.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense to me either. We need to get a physical therapist on the line to explain the who's and what for us. But I know now I'm walking correctly with a cane.
Cleveland Clinic says that if you have an injured or weaker side, you hold your cane on the opposite or stronger side. And presumably that's because if you're going to be exerting force on that cane, you're going to be needing to support yourself. You're using your stronger side to do so, despite the fact that seemingly it doesn't allow you to take the weight off of that leg.
I'm very confused.
As am I, as I imagine the audience is. And when Jeremy mentions Cleveland Clinic, it was Miami's clinic last night. Cleveland had it fall on their head at the end of the game.
What a
Dan
segue.
Hell
What
yeah.
a segue.
What a night.
Wow.
Can you guys tell me, even understanding that Eric Spoelstra had the worst season of his life last year? He's calling a timeout at the end of the game that he doesn't have, just costing his team the game. His percentage point rating with the GMs in the league who vote on such things went down because Eric Spoelstra had a bad year last year. The results were bad, and he had a bad year. Everything that Eric Spoelstra was about sort of got torched from the inside on the last flames of Jimmy Butler. Have fun with that, Golden State. What Miami has done in the interim is what it usually does, which is guy you thought was nothing gets here and is better than that, or guy you may have thought was underrated gets here and becomes a lot better than that. Norman Powell must be frustrated, snubbed for the All-Star game last year, that he had to be in the shadow of three guys with the Clippers who now flail without him. They lost last night to Atlanta at home. They're relying on James Harden to be the center of that team, and Norman Powell has been given the opportunity in Miami that Tyreek Hill was given in Miami. Hey, cared about basketball all your life? Care the way Udonis Haslem cares when he's sobbing in the locker room? Care to be the number one here? And wow, more points through 7 games by a lot than any Heat player. You trust him because he can do all of the things offensively, like all of them. It's not just Jaquez now who's not giving you necessarily threes. Powell can do all of the things offensively. You're playing Cleveland, and you're holding off at the end. A barrage from Sam Merrill and Donovan Mitchell making the most ridiculous of shots.
There was cheating on that last play, though.
I can't take that play away from Donovan Mitchell, even if he had been behind the bench. Like, if so far out of bounds, like, I have to give him that shot because to not give him that shot would be wrong. That's Khalil Ware coming at him. And he's just, that whole sequence at the end was ridiculous. I believe Cleveland's the best team in the East. I'm not saying anything shocking there. For the last couple of years, I felt like they have been, except they can't beat New York. They don't have a chance against New York because every time they play New York matches up well against them. But Donovan Mitchell's a special player. And at the end of what that game was yesterday, he made a special shot that had former Heat member Thomas Bryant on the Cavs bench making the face we were all making, which is like, how the hell did he make that? That's the tallest player on the court, one of the most athletic coming at him, arms outstretched. He's got his back to the basket, and he turns around and just throws up a shot that's a good deal higher than the average shot.
But he was out of bounds.
Okay, but the flight, are we in agreement that the flight of the ball was not even a normal jump shot's flight? Like, this is a punt landing in the basket, and you're going to keep doing out of bounds?
Well, yeah, because if you go out of bounds, that's cheating.
Twice it looked like it went out.
Yeah, he was definitely out of bounds. I have no idea if they can or if they did review it, but he was out of bounds. That's it.
The parabola of the shot was like Steph Curry versus Wemby-ish, right? Remember when Steph had to throw it up, basically, because Wemby, who's 19 feet tall, was like standing over him, lording over him? That's kind of the same thing.
And if you don't think that I was going to be pissed off if the Heat lost that game and they didn't call the out of bounds, you don't know me.
You should file a lawsuit.
Well, no, I don't have to. They won. It's okay. But if they lost, could have been a problem for a lot of people.
But the end of that game, when I'm talking about Eric Spoelstra, I really don't know. Like, Kenny Atkinson's a good coach. He has helped the Cavs become a lot better by unlocking the usage rate of Evan Mobley, who's a beast on the offensive boards. It's a really good basketball team. And what happened at the end of that game is just a coaching surgery. And now you need your players to execute, okay? And Sam Merrill blew the assignment. I'm not even sure he should be on the floor in that spot. I don't think he should be on the floor, but okay. Sam Merrill, as a kind of specialist like Duncan Robinson, I actually miss that kind of guy. The Heat don't have one of those. Not that kind of guy that will just spot up and shoot threes and will shoot 12 a game and will get you back into a game quickly. What happened at the end of that game surgically cannot happen to a coach, cannot happen to a team. You cannot allow that shot to be that easy at the basket when there are only 0.4 of a second left in a basketball game.
We all knew that's what they were going to try and do. Like you'd have to figure Kenny Atkinson had a clue that's what they were going to try and do. But it's the
only thing you cannot allow. Even if you have to put 5 guys under the basket, the thing that you can't let that happen there is that game to end that way with 0.4 of a second left.
Kenny Atkinson might have had a clue, but he was in the locker room because he was ejected earlier for his second technical. So it was the Cavs' assistant coaches who were trying to defend this play.
And they seemed rattled a few times.
There were multiple moments. Look, unlike baseball, you're not expecting to be without your head coach, particularly in a close game late where there's all these shots being made.
They kept showing the assistants. They were constantly huddled up on the sideline, like being in game.
Hey, this is good, right?
Yeah, they were constantly like figuring things out while the game was going on.
A hierarchy the way that the Heat do, and it actually wasn't even Eric Spoelstra who drew up that play. He has had this play on his list for the last several years, he said. For, I believe, 4 years, he's had this play sitting on his list.
Didn't they win a game with Jimmy Butler like that recently?
Yes, against the Rockets a couple of years ago. Labeled CQ for Chris Quinn. And he said rather than articulating the play himself, he just, I was 10 feet away. I watched him hand the clipboard off to Chris Quinn, and he was able to diagram that play himself, articulate it to the players.
You happen to know that's what happened?
I watched it happen.
Look at me, He was 10 feet away.
He's standing right there.
The 10 feet away was not necessary.
I think it was. It added a lot. It took me there. Thank you, Jeremy.
You're very welcome.
Thank
Everyone's standing. If you really want the picture painted, everybody is standing. I'm standing in the tunnel, right, getting ready. It's me and one of the ushers who I always get to see, and he's always like, I don't know why you're here. You're going to give me a heart attack. Because pretty much every single game that I call for whatever reason, it ends up being a really close game late. And so everyone is standing. I'm standing just behind. Standing just behind the front row of folks where a couple of people have already left after regulation. And I have a nice view of Nico Jovic ahead of me on the opposite sideline, right? And he's standing there, and you could see it. Evan Mobley is defending him as this play is about to start. But then, for whatever reason, those assistant coaches that we said, were really struggling, they take Evan Mobley off of the inbounder. They put him with Jaime Jaquez on the opposite baseline. Donovan Mitchell now defending the inbounder, and he's facing backwards, just looking for that inbound pass because with 0.4 seconds left, of course, you can get a shot off. Norman Powell's been hot all game, so they've got him running from the baseline up toward the top of the key. When that happens, you see Mitchell sort of shift that way. You see Sam Merrill defending Davion Mitchell.
You had to know that was coming.
Penalty, 2 minutes, scrambling.
He's breaking down the play, Your Honor. Objection. He's breaking down the play real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm painting a picture.
Who were you wearing?
Express.
Thank you.
All right, look, let's just get the video or just the visuals of Jeremy after the game. His enthusiasm.
Journalist.
This is not me. You are right, Tony. You are correct. That was the correct ruling to make. As someone who was there in the action, the describing of the play at the end with maximum information is the way to go. But I have to be honest here, okay? I've been hovering over that button for about 2 minutes, as I always am when he starts talking.
I'm glad you found it.
And Roy was smiling the entire time, and he was the only show Roy was doing was watching me hover over this button. And as I do this, Lewis puts in cue journalist Jeremy. And what I get to see on the screen is the same giddy guy who walked in today with the strut, and he was waving a parasol around. Heat are good again. And so look at him here in the middle of the action. That's closer than 10 feet away. Look at Jeremy's face. I want you to close up on the side of his face. That is not a journalist.
Eric Reed called him the team's good luck charm when he threw it in there.
Look what's happening right here.
Wow.
And so that
happiness. Who would want that?
He's been eating it for about a year because of how bad the Heat were last year and what a messy conundrum they were last year. But this Heat team scores, and I will tell you that while this is very exciting, and I do get excited about Norman Powell as a number one in a weak East, it's still Norman Powell as your number one, and I'm like, this season is going to be the Miami Heat are going to be better than we thought they were going to be. Norman Powell's going to be a good number one if he is healthy. But it's not where Heat expectations are, the franchises. Like, I understand that it's small-minded and, man, oh, man, like it's almost cruel, the standard that they've set, but number one is the standard. Not 8 seed, not 6 seed, but this team is good enough to be a 4 seed in the East.
Baby steps, man. Like, why can't this year be similar to what 2004 was, where it was this unexpected team, this unexpected season with a lot of really good young players, and guess what? Now we're going to pool these really good young players, and we're going to get a super-duper star.
Jeremy's calling them the Pacers from last year, so that's where he's going.
Well, I am just wondering, like, why we can look at this team. Like, you say Norman Powell is the number one. Norman Powell was brought here to be their number 3 option offensively because the offense often runs through Bam Adebayo, and then Tyler Hero has been their lead scorer. Either way, even if you want to make them 1A, 1B, 1C and what they're doing offensively.
He's their best offensive player.
Their pace and the way that they're playing offense, they only set 9 picks yesterday. 9 picks in an overtime game where they had a 123 offensive rating. That is insane. That is not something that happens in basketball. And with this free-flowing offense, it doesn't really matter who your number one per se is. What matters is that you have several different options and several different playmakers, which they have, whether it's Jaime Jaquez, Nico Jovic, these guys coming off the bench, they have mismatches, and they're going to continue as they get healthy.
That's great, but when the playoffs come and it's a half-court game and you're not running in pace and you're not scoring 140 points a game, who's your dog? Who's your alpha guy who's going to go get you a bucket in crunch time? The Heat have Tyler Hero, Jaime, like
okay, but
and Norman Powell,
like
Bam Adebayo.
This is the place that I would just stop you. This is the place, and this is the cutting edge that I would say it's fair to say the Heat have been pioneering on the revolution of basketball over the last 15 years of positionless basketball. The reason to be excited about this Heat team, you can use all of those old metrics, and they're fair because they've always been fair throughout basketball. Who's your end-of-the-game guy in the playoffs has been a true thing throughout the playoffs since we've been watching basketball. However, with the pieces they have that they were unwilling to trade for yesterday's star in Kevin Durant, a basketball culture franchise, and I'm not going to, let me take back culture because it annoys people, just what these people do in revolutionizing whatever the future looks like. To take the offense and be like, no picks, we're just going to go after Jimmy Butler ball, bounce, 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 bounce. Jimmy Butler, bounce, 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 bounce. Like, to go from that to we don't care who the star is, I would love to believe in that. It's just at no time in history except when the Pistons beat the Lakers because Kobe and Shaq hated each other has that ever won. And what you'd be trusting here is that the Heat know more about how to evolve their maximum pieces than other teams do. But the reason they didn't trade these guys is because they knew it looked like this. Like, we didn't know, but they absolutely knew that this is what it would look like. Like, they had no... Like,
also, Jeremy knew. That's right.
That's an interesting thing, though. When you think of the architects of, like, okay, now we got Jimmy out of here, and, man, that year hurt. Like, everything about what that did to us hurt. Anybody want to play here where we don't care who the number one is? Anybody want to play here where we do not care because Norman Powell is coming from the perfect situation? Are you kidding me? The shadow of Harden and Kawhi, and nobody knows how good that guy was last year. Nobody knows. Like, how do you get that for Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson? And then, of course, you put him in this. You put him in this cauldron, and it gets better.
Greg, you like that trade right away.
I did. I was all over it. Thank you. Really appreciated that trade.
Biggest reason for Clippers fall off, losing Norman Powell or Pablo Torre?
Oh, Pablo, no doubt.
I need your support.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Zaz, I just saw this Get Up headline.
What do they say?
Is the Bills' Super Bowl window closed?
Oh, that's my gimmick.
What? They're doing that?
They just did it.
18 hours after Zaz. That was super disrespectful yesterday. And now ESPN is stealing that?
Whoa, who's disrespectful?
Has the Bills' window closed because Ed Oliver's out and they can't stop the run?
Dan, do you think the Bills are going to the Super Bowl this year?
They could. They're one of the best
Of course
teams.
they could. The Dolphins can too. Great answer.
No, the Dolphins can't. No, the Dolphins can't.
No, they can.
No, they can't.
They can.
No, they can't.
They can.
They
Good.
can
Buy
win.
a ticket?
They
That's
can,
medically possible.
They can win the rest of their games.
They can.
And they can't.
They can.
Can. Zaz is right.
They can't.
They can.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Bills can't. Bills can't. Dolphins can. Like, that's ridiculous what you're saying. Dianna Russini's on with us, senior NFL insider for The Athletic and host of the Scoop City podcast. Dianna, is the Bills window closed?
It is not closed, but I'm now very curious about the Dolphins schedule because I'm in Greg's camp here. I think the Dolphins can win the Super Bowl.
Oh, come on. You're trolling us.
Well, look, right? They've got the
easy.
Commanders.
It's an easy schedule. It's the Saints. It's
got
the Jets.
the Saints.
But
They've got the Jets.
They're all looking at the Dolphins and saying, we've got the Dolphins.
Steelers. They've got the Bengals, the Bucks. All right, the Patriots. Okay. It's easy, then it gets a little harder. Look, anything could happen. The Dolphins defense looked fantastic. Where was that all year last game? As for the Bills, look, I think what Zaz's point is, forget the defense that you mentioned. It's the fact that their offense, when they cannot run the ball, nothing good is happening. And teams know this. Teams run the same play, and they have the blueprint to beat the Buffalo Bills, which is stop the run and run the ball on them, right? And they are unable to do either of those right now. And so that's my concern. And with the trade deadline now passed and then not getting another receiver, even though they tried, they called around, they were in on almost all the ones that were traded. We are now left with Josh Allen trying to make magic, which is what we saw him trying to do, and it's just not enough.
How did they get left out at the trade deadline? And is it true, as has been reported, that the Bills made the best of all the offers for Waddle, a 1 and a 3, a 1 this year and a 3 next year?
Yeah, there was some stuff going on with different teams with Buffalo in terms of the negotiation for how the trades would go. I don't know for a fact that the Buffalo Bills gave the Miami Dolphins the best offer. I just know the Miami Dolphins were listening, but they really did not want to move him. They were not trying to move on from Jalen Waddle. So I'm not sure what Brandon Beane would have had to offer for Miami to go, okay, we're in on this. I just know that they had a couple lines in the waters with different teams, with New Orleans, with the Vegas Raiders, with the Jacksonville Jags even. But in the end, though, they lost out because either the team that they were talking to really didn't want to move the player, or they got beat out by another team, or in some cases, this happens a lot, you get used as a team because one team really doesn't want to trade with you. So they use that as a way to get another team to, as leverage for another team to pay more. So I think all of that happened, which is why you saw Brandon Beane so exhausted. Did you see his press conference? I haven't seen a general manager talk about that.
Dianna, I'm legitimately baffled when I'm not someone who does a lot of this. I assume that people who are invested in their building, the way the Bills are, that they're good at their jobs. You can't fail to get a wide receiver for Josh Allen at the trade deadline. You're playing for right now. You're not playing for next year or the year after that. This team is viewed as a failure, not unlike the best previous incarnation of the Bills that always collapsed at the end. You have to get Josh Allen a receiver. It can't be that obvious, that you can't stop the run. You can't run the ball if James Cook is hurt. And then all of a sudden it's just Dalton Kincaid is all that they can beat you with.
It's literally the state of the Bills right now, right? Of what you just defined or how you just laid that out. And you're right, but what are you going to do if you can't get the deal done? Like, the Buffalo Bills weren't the only team that were after players that couldn't get a guy. It just, I hear you. What are you willing to give up? How far are you willing to go? And I think there's consequences if you go too far. He was aggressive. The general manager was very aggressive in this. Just he wasn't able to come up with what he wanted, which is why you heard in the press conference him being like, he looked partially tired because it was an exhausting process because he was having so many different conversations, but obviously annoyed, right? So that tells me he was close on a lot of these things and lost out.
I want to ask you guys before I throw this to Dianna because it was something that baffled me yesterday. So Brian Daboll gets fired, and my reaction was just fairly immediately, why does everyone care about this so much? Like, he started 7-2, had Daniel Jones, and when they were healthy, they looked like maybe it would be something, and then they've done nothing but fail since. And then I see a lot of people reacting angrily to you don't do this to Brian Daboll. And I'm just curious, before I throw it to Dianna, why do you think people care about that so much when Brian Daboll's just a guy?
Yes, I agree. It's because it's the New York market. If Brian Daboll was just fired from the New Orleans Saints, nobody cares, and we're not talking about it. It's New York. It's why whoever the Jets coach is or the next Jets coach is going to be disproportionately discussed. I really think, I agree with you. Daboll is an unremarkable NFL coach looking for work.
I don't even necessarily agree with the unremarkable part. Like, okay, fine. Like, he is just a guy, but he was doing Jackson Dart's having a good season. And I understand they're 2-8. I wouldn't want to change, potentially the offense that he runs next year because they have a new coach, Dianna.
Yeah, the New York market thing, I'm with you, Greg, on it, and sometimes I still think that gets blown out of proportion, yet look how many people we've seen leave New York and have success just from the players, right? Like Daniel Jones, Leonard Williams. Maybe this will be Brian Daboll's future where he has success outside the Giants. Saquon Barkley, right? But Dan, I was with you a little bit from a no one was surprised that Brian Dable got fired, right? We've been talking about it every single week. I think what happened here was because the quarterback has shown that he is talented and could be the guy here, and the relationship between him and Brian Dable seemed to be the best part of watching this New York Giants team before they collapsed against Denver and lost to Philly. And just really started losing against the Niners. I think there was a moment here where you went, okay, if you're the New York Giants and you have the quarterback, what do you want? Well, you want a really good offensive play caller because this kid has potential. Who's a good offensive play caller? Oh, Brian Dable. Remember what he did with Josh Allen? Oh my gosh. Oh wait, he's our head coach. So I think there was belief that now is the time, the best version of Brian Dable is here. Unfortunately, the reality is Brian is a good offensive coordinator. He is not a great head coach because so much comes with it. And I think that's why in this next chapter of the New York Giants, in terms of what they're going to be looking for, I would lean more towards them searching for we talk about this kind of in a funny tone, but leader of men, right? Someone that is going to hold the best players accountable.
Who's that?
On both sides of the ball.
Who's
right?
that?
Well, who's out there, right? So you've got an Anthony Weaver in Miami who has a really great reputation with his players for being a disciplinarian yet understanding. You've got a Lou Anarumo who interviewed once before. He's the Colts defensive coordinator. He interviewed for the Giants job, and from what I recall, he interviewed very well, and it was close. Brian Dable got the job in the end. Look, Mike Tomlin's name is floating around there right now because we don't know what the future in Pittsburgh will be. I think we have this conversation every year. What happens? He stays in Pittsburgh because that's how they do it. I just think the model for John Mara, like what he should be looking at in terms of what do I want this to be and look like? I think they need to look in New England. You get the leader of men and you get the really good offensive coordinator. The answer of just getting the OC as the head coach, from history, doesn't really work out as well. And I think this Giants team needs that. I think they've tried all the other ways. I think this is a time where they need to find the guy that's going to be the disciplinarian again, because that's when they've had success.
Can I get a ruling from the group here who have raised children? I think, I don't have children, so I'm not going to judge Dianna's parenting skills, but I think she's doing something with her kids that some parents might say is not something that you should do. Now, how old are your kids, Dianna?
4 and 3.
Okay, so she has been picking up the phone when they're misbehaving, and this works, undoubtedly. And she has been threatening that she's about to call Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's a good move.
That is a good move.
That's a good move.
Yeah.
Good for you, Dianna.
Yep.
Okay.
Is it too early?
No.
Never.
No, I mean, is it working?
It is, but with my children, I have learned it runs out. Like, it only works for a week or two, and then they're like, that's not Santa, that's Grandpa.
Okay, so then you move on. Like, maybe next time you say, I'm calling the police.
Oh, wait a minute.
I just said back here, one of my friends, to their kid, they always are threatening to call the cops.
Okay, but wait, you guys.
No, we do that too. We threaten jail
Good.
a lot.
What? Good.
What?
Yeah.
Dianna.
But here's what's starting to happen. When they see the policemen, they get frightened, and you don't want them to be scared of police because if you think of any scenario of an emergency, they're going to probably be helping our children, right? So I don't want them to be frightened. Kevin came up with this idea last week, which was putting the children outside. And that's been working. So it's
live
like animals? It's 20 degrees.
It's really cold in New Jersey, and we have a lot of deer in our backyard, and we threaten that will be their family. If you don't put the trains away, you're gonna live with the deer.
Oh my God, this is horrifying.
Oh,
okay, this is escalated. Oh dear.
I mean, she had lived with the deer. That's frightening.
This is escalated. This is far worse than what I thought we were doing, but I think we skipped over a part. Did you say that there is someone on the line and the kids are yelling, that's not Santa Claus, that's Grandpa?
Yeah, so I always think I want to really be in character. So I will call my brother, I will call my dad, I'll call a man that is available to just be, and I'll be like, hey, just be Santa.
I could be Santa.
I would, in fact, I feel like that would be a great
this is
a
better.
great way
Somebody
to help.
will end up on the naughty list if you don't behave.
Dianna, this is so good. You should absolutely be calling Chris. He will scare the out of your kids.
This is better than the deer.
Diana, I think you should go a step further. You create a contact in your phone that is Santa's picture. So the kids see it. You flip the phone and say, look who it is. And they're like, oh my God,
is so
that's
good.
Santa.
Santa's calling.
This is Jeremy.
Another level. What if I just called someone in the NFL and was just like, hey, coach, can you just be Santa for me right now while you're in between meetings? Like, could you imagine what the response would be like? What?
Who would you pick? Who do you think-
who'd be a good NFL Santa?
Obviously, Mike McCarthy.
No, it's got to be Andy Reid, no?
Andy Reid would do it because he's nice like that.
He's
and he loves
busy. I was
kids.
thinking of somebody who's not busy.
Yeah, call the Titans.
Yes, obviously Andy Reid. I'm sorry. I take it back.
Come on,
Mike
man.
McCarthy is more of an old Elvis. If you have a need to have old Elvis threaten one of your kids. I can't believe the escalation, though, of you're not threatening to throw the kids outside with the deer. You have put them outside and said their deer is going to be their family.
They lose their minds through the glass window because they think they're really going to have to stay out there.
It's good parenting.
Good.
That's excellent.
Dan,
parenting.
you don't-
Freezing.
Dan,
Somebody should be calling
no,
child
no.
services on you.
Dan, you don't
Give her
get
an
it. For
award.
every parent watching and
Yeah,
listening
Dan
right
doesn't
now,
get it.
you know what I'm talking about. It's between the hours of 4 and probably 7 o'clock, and you're trying to get them fed, and
Hell
there's a
time.
million
That's
things
the real
going on, and
witching hour.
everyone is losing their minds. So there's only one. No, you can't be reasonable with them, right?
Thank
Like
you, Dianna.
I can't get down and look at Mikey in the eye and be like, "You need to eat your vegetables and sit." He's like, "I want to play trains. I'm a dinosaur." Like Joey's in the corner.
All right, calling
with the
Santa.
eggs.
How cold is it outside? 26 degrees? See ya.
That is such a great description for boy childhood. I want to play with trains. I'm a dinosaur.
No, they do it all the time. They're constant. Then they ask me to put a spell on them, so they turn into a monster because they want to be monsters all the time. So the only way to get a little bit of order.
Yeah, you're living
my
with
husband and I
hyena.
like-
You're living with hyena.
I'm living with crazy deer now. And the thing is that the 3-year-old just he encourages it. Like he's like, I dare you to put me outside, and I put him out there, and he looks to the window, and I take the eggs. And I'm like, I got your eggs.
Oh, my
got you. And
God.
you lose. That's usually how I get them.
Wait. So is the 3-year-old the smartass with that's not Santa, that's Grandpa? Like who's hitting you with that?
The 4-year-old's an angel. He's like, oh, yay, Santa. The 3-year-old, the egg one, he is smart. He knows what we're doing. So yeah, he's gonna be my.
Dianna, would you do me the favor of please calling Chris? I want to video this. I think that Chris can sell your kids on. You put the kid on the phone. I think that Chris,
Are they misbehaving again?
But I want more out of you, Chris. Like I want more direction so we can get some order here.
We got to talk on the front end. You tell me what they're doing. I need more info.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
All right, please coordinate. I want to scare the kids, and I want Chris to be this Santa who disciplines your kids so we don't have to call child services on you because you're threatening that they're going to live with deer in the frigid Northeast.
Deer aren't even scary. They just like.
You're saying to your kids you're going to live in the woods? You're going to be raised by a deer?
Deer are scary. Big
You're
antlers.
3 years
Deer,
old.
not
What,
scary.
what sort of processing do you think is happening there? Wait a minute. I have to live out there that's not warm.
What the hell is that thing?
And
Those
why you say that deer is not dangerous? What do you mean that's going to raise me? How am I going to get to practice?
They go to school with Jets and Giants fans. It can't be much worse.
Getting back to the things in football, the Patriots, how real is that?
Very real. I think they're ahead of schedule. This is a team that I think they were just trying to straighten up, get organized, figure out what they want to be. And I think they're already on this journey to being what they are, what they envision this. I can tell you it's electric up there. They're energized, and that is a hard place to be energetic about, especially this time of year in New England. I remember when I was at ESPN and I would cover the Patriots. It was the worst assignment. And not because of Bill and Brady and all that. Like, it was just like, it's so just.
Oh, it's gray and far away
gloomy
and
and
cold.
dark.
No, it's awful. They live on the outskirts of civilization. They might as well be raised by deer. No, seriously. Do people know how hard it is to get to that place, Dianna?
It's far from
no,
Boston.
it is the wilderness.
Yeah, they're closer to Walpole little prison than they are to a city.
I agree. And so just the fact that they're out there and they're dancing, they're doing all these things. I love what they're about. And look, I still don't think this roster's like phenomenal. I still think they're kind of a middle of the road type of team that just has a really good quarterback, a great offensive coordinator, and a potential coach of the year leading the way.
Dianna, what the hell did we watch last night?
What was that? Was it just cold? Like, I don't understand. Okay. I'm frustrated at times with this Eagles offense. They had a bye week to get this together. And I was just expecting it to look more like it did either at the height of last year or even snippets of what we saw before the bye, right? Where the run game was on, the offensive line did a good job of protecting. They used the receivers really well. And then it just looks disjointed. It doesn't look as good as the Eagles can. And I know they're winning, right? They're still good. They're gonna make a deep playoff run. I think when you have a team like this, where at times the offense looks like they're in a bit of a rut, they're lucky that they've got such talent because it gets them out.
That's a tough assignment on the road in the cold in Green Bay. Give me a stat of the day here so people understand what they're seeing from Green Bay.
Start of the day, start of the day. It is here, start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is here, start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is here, start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is here, start of the day.
The Packers have allowed, this is from OptaStats, the Packers have allowed just 39 total points and 780 total yards in their 3 losses this season. That's the first NFL team to allow fewer than 40 points and fewer than 800 yards over their first 3 losses of a season since 1940, since the Lions. Now, 2 inexplicable losses, Carolina and Cleveland. But that one last night is not inexplicable. Like, that's a good defense they're playing, and Philadelphia... Look, I know they won 20 of 21 or 21 of 22. Winning on the road at Green Bay, if you're Philadelphia, no matter how you do it, is a victory. Like, that's something that no one's so spoiled that they can't appreciate, that they're going to complain after that.
Yeah, no, sure. And you look at the teams that they've beaten this year. This is not like they have some cupcake schedule. They've played really good teams. So, look, Philly is really hard to dissect because we know what the roster looks like. Even look at Jalen Phillips. They just trade for him, and he immediately makes an impact. Like, they do a really good job on both sides of the ball. But I think it's understanding what they could be is the frustration, right? A.J. Brown, 3 targets again. What is this going to turn into by the end of the season, and how are they going to get him more involved? Because I think that's what he wants, and I think that's what they want to do because he's that good. So, look, they're at the top of the NFC. They've got Seattle and the Rams, who to me are the best teams playing right now in football.
Let's get the tiers of tears for for Dianna. Let's get these ready so that she can make a ruling for us before we let her go. And can you guys get for me the Jalen Phillips tweet, please? Because he had a forced fumble last night. He had a recovered fumble last night. He had 4 pressures, no sacks. He's going to be helped by that defensive line, which doesn't particularly need his help. But Howie Roseman does what the Bills did not, because they got another pass rusher in Philadelphia in Jalen Phillips. When you look at everything, the totality of people complaining in Philadelphia that the offense is not doing enough, I want to ask you a question about Lane Johnson, their right tackle. Is there a better right tackle in football?
No.
Where do you put him on most important players the Eagles have? Like, if I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He is the best player on offense for the Philadelphia Eagles. Lane Johnson is the best player on the Philadelphia Eagles.
I don't think people know this. Like, I think people like you know this. I don't think the people listening to this, they talk about A.J. Brown and they're talking about all the other players that play offense for the Eagles. But that guy gets hurt last night. All of a sudden, they're going to have problems.
Let me be even clearer. It is my opinion, but it's also from me asking the people on the Philadelphia Eagles team recently about this. I've had conversations with guys. Who is the best player on the team? And it is not even questioned. It's always Lane Johnson. Always.
He's the best right tackle ever. And do you dispute this?
I don't dispute this. I'm saying yes. The next player is where I step into some spicy stuff, because I have said that I thought A.J. Brown was the second best offensive player on the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think a lot of the world believes it's Saquon Barkley. So that's another.
Well, A.J. Brown believes that it's A.J. Brown. Correct? Like that. He believes he's being held back by everything they're doing in Philadelphia as champions, correct?
He does. I think he just wants to be part of this game plan consistently throughout the game, not just in moments when they need him, like trying to go for it on fourth down, right? I mean, I'm not sure what happened there in terms of him going up for the ball, but to me, this is like, it's the same thing week in and week out. And look, Howie Roseman got calls. People poked around a little bit. There was some chatter. Would they move A.J. Brown? And Philly they were not doing it. They were like, unless it's a blow you away deal, we are not moving him, despite the fact that we know it's not the perfect scenario.
Dianna, were the Patriots one of those teams that called about the Eagles, A.J. Brown's availability?
In the offseason, I know they had some conversations. I don't know how aggressive they were this time around. I know that they were looking more on defense during the trade deadline than they were on offense. So, look, it makes all the sense in the world in this upcoming offseason. If they were to move A.J. Brown, New England being a place where he lands because of his relationship with the head coach, but also he could definitely be used in New England at this point, right, as they're trying to build this thing.
Let's speed her up, Roy. Let's speed her up. Let's get out of here. She's the host of Scoop City with The Athletic. She's the senior NFL insider for The Athletic.
Dianna, is Joe Burrow returning this month?
No, he is not. I think the hope has been December this whole time. I still want to see it, though. I think injuries are hard to determine.
Is the writing on the wall for Kyler Murray in Arizona?
I do believe so. I think this is going to be a really hard decision for this team to make, but I think we're seeing it, right? They're showing us and telling us what direction they're going in here at quarterback. And look, there was a time where I think all of us would be surprised that Kyler Murray wasn't going to be the starting quarterback for Arizona with how he was playing and some of the runs he was making and really some of the athleticism. But I just don't think what he's doing there is good enough for this regime.
Is there a market for Kyler Murray? Where does it start?
Yeah, I definitely think there's a market. Look, there's going to be plenty of teams that are going to be looking for a quarterback next year, right? You look at the New York Jets right now. They would give anything to have somebody. I keep joking that if Joe Burrow comes back, Joe Flacco should go to the Jets. There will be plenty of teams, I think, interested in knowing that he can play. Maybe he just needs a better situation.
Dianna, last year's draft class, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. Rank them who you want.
Drake May, Caleb Williams, and Jaden. And look, I'm taking this away from Jaden only because he's been hurt, right? Like, I don't know what he would be if he was able to be out there, but I love what Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are doing. And he's doing a better job in the pocket, but he was drafted because of his off-script play. And it's been remarkable the last few weeks. That is where he has shined, and he's got the clutch gene. I love this about this kid. He wants to win games, and he knows how to do it when the pressure's hot.
The clutch gene.
Hot or high?
No, she's right. She's right.
The pressure
She's
is
100%
hot.
right.
I mean, you just dismounted with a diarrhea of cliches. Clutch gene.
He does.
The pressure.
How
the
else
pressure
would you like
when
me
it's
to
hot.
say?
When the pressure
He can
is
finish.
high.
What do you want me to say?
It's just diarrhea.
I'll tell you who's clutch. See that Jaime Jaquez Jr. last night?
Dianna does not think about Jaime Jaquez Jr.'s as.
She better start thinking about Jaime Jaquez Jr.
And Norman Powell.
Do you remember when the Rams were going to trade or let Stafford go to the Giants?
Oh, I do. I remember it well. We were in Indy at the NFL Combine, and if you recall, the Rams were being a little wishy-washy on what they wanted to do because they didn't want to pay him more money, and the New York Giants were sitting there waiting, kind of begging, please come play for the New York Giants. The Las Vegas Raiders were willing to pay him tons of money for him to be the Raiders' starting quarterback. But in the end, he never even wanted to leave California, and they were able to get that deal done. But what it could have been, right? If Matthew Stafford, this is a team that looks primed, ready to go for the Super Bowl with Sean McVay. If he was in New York, would Brian Dable still have his job?
Talk about clutch genes. Matthew Stafford, Dan. That guy's got a clutch gene like no other.
I just want to know what's another way of saying somebody comes through in the fourth quarter.
Exactly right.
Like,
Perfect way of saying it.
Okay.
Clutch gene, Dan. Say it.
I'm wrong. A clutch gene.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wearing a pair of clutch jeans.
He wears clutch jeans.
Thank
yes,
you.
that's right.
Nice.
That's we should start making those clutch jeans. We should start making
They
those.
sound tight in all the wrong places.
They do sound very tight, Greg.
Jeremy has one question to close it out.
all right.
Which is worse, Diana? Weeping or sobbing?
Sobbing.
Keep going,
Thank
though,
you.
Jeremy. Keep going.
Well,
though.
we have a full list here. Where would you put wailing in that mix with those two?
The wailings to
All right,
me.
so here's our full tiers of tears. So it starts with a frog in the throat, then
That's good.
sniffling, then sniveling, lamenting, choking back tears. Is it dusty in here? Cutting onions, allergies, shedding a tear, boo-hooing, whimpering, then standard crying, then the mourning cry, and then the mourning as if you're mourning cry.
That's got to be a big one. No?
Where's
bursting
the
in-
shower cry?
See, I figured morning cry, shower cry, pretty similar, right? But are you
Which
considering
morning,
the shower
though? Are you
at
talking
night?
about in the morning or when I'm sad because someone passed?
We could add the shower cry. Let's get through the list and then we can figure out where that shower cry goes. So after the second morning cry, we have bursting into tears, then waterworks, crying a river, bawling, wailing, crying your eyes out, hysterical crying, crocodile tears, blubbering, weeping, sobbing, and the no Sean Moreno tear.
Yeah, thank you. I was waiting for that one.
There were a couple in there that I thought you ranked in the wrong order. Like
A little too high?
Yeah, a little too high. Like sobbing was too low.
What is the highest form? Is it wailing? What is the highest form of sobbing?
No Sean Moreno
Wailing.
tears right now.
Yeah,
Right?
that's the highest form.
Wailing.
the palace.
More than blubbering. All
Weeping.
right, Diana.
I just think anytime you cry in like whatever the private version of it is always going to be the worst, right? Because that's when you can truly let go. Very few people will do that in public.
Where's
So,
the shower cry going though?
I mean, in my life, it's probably the top one. It's the worst version.
So I'll put it just beneath the
It's
no
the
Sean Moreno
word.
tear.
The shower cry is the
Shower
word
cry.
because you're
Happens a
you're
lot.
by yourself. You can get away from everyone. You're alone, and you're alone with your alone and your pain, and it's just a private cry. It's
Car
just
cry. The car cry is good too.
Really?
Car cry's
You
a
don't cry in
strong
the car?
cry.
Wow. When you stop at a red light, somebody's looking at you crying.
No,
there's
it's in your. It's
privacy
always in
there.
your driveway.
No, see that
It's
one
in your
that
driveway.
one feels even stronger to me than the shower cry because the shower cry can feel almost cathartic, right? There's like an emphasis of release. You're alone, but the car cry, it's like you can't even wait until you get home and hop into that
car
shower
cry
to be
is
able
dark.
to cry.
It's a dark
It's a
cry.
dark
I
cry.
like the shower cry to release the most because the water is kind of camouflaging all my tears. You know what I mean? It's like all mixed in as one
Yes.
that I can't even decipher what's my tears and what's just the water, and
Yep.
I then don't feel so horrible about myself.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. What's the worst of the cries, the shower cry or the car cry? Diana, thank you. We've kept you too long because Jeremy is using too
Really quick
many
though, Dan.
words
Does
again.
Bo Nix stink now, Diana? I don't know. You tell me.
Oh, a stray football question after the music has died.
was efficient.
It's a good question.
Look, do you
They're eating
realize
too. Does Bo
that-
Nix
do you-
stink?
Do you realize that this is Diana's life as she walks through life? Some guy shouting
Bo Nix
behind
stink?
her. Does Bo yes.
They're eating too. Does he stink?
This is her life. Look, in the Northeast especially, guys like you on a street corner.
Me?
Yeah, guys like you.
Clutch gene.
Asking for the opinion of does Bo Nix stink?
I think he does.
As she's trying to leave. She's got to leave. Thank you, Diana.
He does.
Wow.
He doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't. Goodbye.
That's my girl.
I'm gonna go
Flip
cry.
Ho ho ho! Goodbye, Diana.
You gotta do this, okay? Listen to me. I want it to escalate. Look, if she's willing to put her
You're
kids
on the naughty list.
listen, if she's willing, okay,
For me
tell,
to scare her children.
to tell the American people, okay, that she puts her children in freezing cold to be raised by deer as a threat, I need this to escalate into you become a really threatening Santa. Like you need to be, you need to start out really kind, but it needs to escalate. Like we've got 6 weeks to perfect this. And I want those kids scared for Christmas that what's coming down their chimney is doing so with a machete.
You go outside right now.
Can you get me the sound of Mad Dog, please, complaining about the government shutdown?
Only you should be ashamed. Every single elected official on both sides of the aisle should look themselves in the mirror how they let down the American public and made us a laughingstock around the world. This is not about winners and losers, who is right and who is wrong. This is about doing something good for the American people and say, you know what? All right. They're wrong, but I got to step up here and make sure that the air traffic controllers are there with aircraft and in towers. Not saying, well, your turn, LaGuardia, your turn, Kennedy. Newark, it's been 40 minutes. Send a plane out that's been sitting there for 15 hours. That's not the way this works. If you're the President of the United States or you're a Republican who controls everything, you do what's right for the American person, and they didn't do that. And the Democrats, you're dead wrong, too. The both of you. You all go to hell. Every single one of you.
Oh, he keeps going.
That's part one.
Hit it, Roy.
I mean, it's ridiculous what they put us through. I mean, who knows how dangerous it was to fly with nobody in the freaking towers. I mean, my God almighty. And I got the president sitting there with freaking Vilma breaking down the 2003 Saints. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And chest bumping Vilma. When they got a 75-year-old who's been sitting in Miami International for 3 days. He's got hearing aids. He can't hear the announcements of when his JetBlue flight takes off for Bozeman. Oh, my God, it's sickening. I can't stand it. I should move the hell. I should be, Susan Lucci, who moved? No, Longoria moved. I should do the same thing. I'll do the show from Madrid. I'll do it live at 9 o'clock at night. Jesus, oh my God, 11 in front of the hour. Returning on Mad Dog.
The GOAT.
Holy shit. Just a
man.
fireball.
I listened to that in the shower this morning.
Did you cry?
Can you get me the sound, Roy, of him just tripping on himself on the way to Susan Lucci? And get me the sentence, because it's a musical sentence, of where he's so mad and the spit is gathered in his mouth that all of a sudden we're not flying, we're frying. Where he can't even get the L because it's an R instead, because he is just frothing at the mouth.
I should move the hell. I should be, Susan Lucci, who moved? Who the hell?
I want you to imagine Mad Dog mad at the federal government, and then the federal government just punching him repeatedly in the stomach as he tried to say that.
I should move the hell. I should be, Susan Lucci, who moved?
I just feel bad for the guy with the hearing aids who can't hear it's time to board.
Seriously.
Going to Bozeman.
It was so good. His word choices were so good. Like he went all over the map, and he picked the perfect cities to send people to, and he threw the hearing aids at the guy in Miami, because I've seen him the last 3 days. Every time I'm over there, there's somebody wandering around because the government shut him out. It happened to Zaz. Zaz was that man with 3 hearing aids at the Atlanta airport.
Trying to get to Miami International.
How many ears you got?
Who disagrees with anything he said there?
Nope.
Nobody. He speaks for the American people.
Republicans, Democrats, you're all full of it.
Whether it's flying or it's frying, or whether he's talking about Susan Lucci or someone else, he moved me. He moved us all with part 1 and part 2 of Mad Dog Speaks for America.
When Mad Dog puts it in that context, the optics of the president doing play-by-play, it's a little rough.
It was great. A great choice. Talking to Jonathan Vilma. Look, this is what I tell Zaz this all the time. Zaz Show 2.0. I say the thing that's the difference between the show he does and the show we do is, hey, Zaz, if you notice that when you're on your show, you don't get to laugh. You don't get to laugh because you're talking to yourself, so you're not going to make yourself laugh. He broke character laughing at himself in the middle of that. Like he was trying to stay in character, and he found himself too funny with his word choices. Can you play that back for me again? I want to hear the whole thing again.
Let's see. We have a very important, I think it's a very important couple of plays.
Here we go. Second and 7.
You're right, 2nd and 7. Let's see what happens. Whoa.
That's
all right.
Krosky Merritt.
Not bad.
Takes it down to the 5-yard line.
That's right. That's right. Good runner.
There we go.
The Jonathan Vilma going through the 2004 Saints is where he lost it, right? Where he's thinking to himself that the place where Mad Dog is losing it is he's thinking the reality is funnier than fiction, which is while my grandfather is walking around MIA because the government can't do anything, the president, who wants that stadium named after him, by the way, and probably will get it named after him, is doing that terrible play-by-play with Jonathan Vilma after 40 years covering sports. It's too much to stay inside of Chris Russo's head without him laughing at himself because of the absurdity of it.
I should move the hell. I should be, well, who, Susan Lucci, who moved?
The Eagles are 7-2. They have wins over the Packers, the Chiefs, Tampa Bay, and that Rams team. They're 4-1 against teams with winning records. They're the number one seed in the NFC. I know people talk about their offensive issues. The number of 3-and-outs they have, alarming for a team that has won 20 of 21 games. It's weird to see a team with that much firepower be constipated on offense. But that Rams game showed you, if you want them to beat you that way, they'll do it too. Like, if you want them to go ahead and throw it down the field to A.J. Brown, they will on 4th and 6, and Matthew Stafford will lose a game that if they played it again today, the Rams would be favored. And that's crazy to say. Like, because of the problems that Philadelphia is having on offense makes them look like they did yesterday. But I want to ask you guys something that I was thinking about during that game, because the margins are so small. Every week in the NFL, you're looking, the reason that the Patriots beat the Bucs is because Diggs got his toes in on 4th down in that small sliver of real estate, and it changed the entire football game. Do you think you can imagine how maddening to these disciplinarian coaches who want to control everything but can control so little pre-snap penalties are? And I want to articulate this in a certain way for the audience, because what these people do for a living is insane in its precision. They practice 8 and 9 hours a day, so they have this much of an advantage knowing where a guy is going to be, how they can get one step on somebody because the route has to be 8.3 yards, and we're going to practice it all week, 8 hours a day, and if you don't keep doing it, we'll get a younger person in here who would like this paycheck. It's a military school of we will be precise. To my way of thinking, there should not be a false start on offense at home the entire season from anyone on my team ever. The bare minimum is the snap count the way we're practicing all week. We're in meetings at night. You're away from your family. We are doing every single thing to make sure we're this much better than the other guy. Don't give me a false start the entire season when we're at home. Like, you guys explain to me how that happens with military soldiers who are being trained through fatigue and everything else. In the fourth quarter, the snap count is this. You don't jump. Unless you're the Eagles on the tush push, then you can jump whenever you want. The refs will never call it.
I didn't realize you were such a hard ass as a coach.
Where was this when you were coaching the 13-year-olds?
Holy hell, Dan. I'm now playing scared.
Sitting next to Bobby Knight.
I just don't understand
I'm scared to play.
I just don't understand it. All you got to do is don't move until the quarterback does this. We know it and the defense doesn't. Every time they tell it to us in the huddle, I just don't understand how it happens so much. I'll give you procedure penalties. I'll give you shifting penalties. I'm just talking about what they're doing all week. I can't imagine how exasperated coaches get with, really, it's 4th and short. I need a yard against them. They win the Super Bowl because they always get that yard, and no one gets it against them. Can you not give me a false start?
You're hitting a coach. You're hitting a player on the sideline like Gannon.
Take it
from
easy,
Arizona.
Trent
I'm not.
You just bumped me.
I'm shivving the center with like.
Oh, that's worse.
I'm
You know the snap count. You have the ball in your hand.
It's the snap count.
You're kicking players in the ass during a game. That's what you're doing.
I just told you. That's
Shivving.
not kicking a player in the ass is not as bad as shivving them with a metallic object that I hid in the locker room.
I would agree
Shivving
with
the
that.
center is quite the visual.
Do we need more tears?
Do you understand what I'm saying, though? I find this maddening. That game was decided by things like that.
I mean, the Dolphins have to lead the league in pre-snap penalties.
Definitely pre-game starting penalties.
Yeah.
Are you guys with me that you're now at the point where you expect that 64-yarder to go in at the end of the game, even if it's in a Lambeau winter?
I hate it. I hate it so much. One of the most fun things about football, when I was younger, was Marino gets the ball with 50 seconds left, and somehow he's got to get 60 yards in this final possession to set up a field goal. And now You need like one 20-yard pass,
Yeah.
and then the kicker can come in and win the game. I hate it.
What do you like about
hurt
football?
the game.
I like.
You don't like football.
You're telling me you like kicking then?
You
You're a
don't
huge
like
fan
you
of
don't like kicking. You also don't like punching.
No.
You don't know about that. What about the punch yesterday?
You know
that was an important punch
Can
yesterday.
I give a PSA real quick? I'm tired of
You hate
everyone-
football.
Let me give a PSA real quick. You know what a PSA is?
Yes.
I can see you. You look like you don't know what one is.
Whoa.
You want me to tell Chris in case you don't
Jay-Z
know?
gave me a PSA. I know what it is.
Hey, that's my gimmick.
I'm tired of people sending me messages on Twitter when someone punches a ball out.
No, you're not. You love it.
I'm tired of it.
No, you're not.
It's
you know about
too
that
many.
landman?
It's too many.
No, that'll definitely
I'm
stop
so
it.
tired of getting.
Yeah.
Do you know about that landman?
What you're doing now will definitely stop it.
That's literally the message I'm getting. Do you know about that landman?
Every time there's a punch anywhere in a high school game, college game, or professional
sending
game.
it to me.
Last night it was a huge one. I mean, fellas,
Massive.
you never see Jalen Hurts. That never happens to Jalen Hurts.
Should have been a little illegal. I agree with Zaz. The punch, do away with it. Boxing ring, okay.
That's right.
Football field, nope.
That's right. You're literally allowed to see a guy got thrown out of a game the other day, right? Because he punched another player. But if that guy was holding a football, it'd been totally okay. Make that make sense.
Tony has made me laugh, today a couple of different times, but nowhere harder than when he comes in this morning, okay? We have something interesting happening in South Florida. We are the envy of the world
cold.
in this respect. Yeah, well, you say it's cold, but it was 53 was the low this morning. So the rest of the world is going through a winter, and there is legitimate cold all over the United States that is going to be really deeply unpleasant for people. But yes, it's 53 in South Florida, and all of us were rattled by this. But Tony came in, and this doesn't happen to him very often. He's a confident individual. He came in feeling a bit judged as inferior as he drove in, and I was surprised by it because it doesn't happen to him very often. What happened?
So on a beautiful day like this, you like to drive the car. You got the windows down a little bit. You're cruising, Greg. I know you like that. Nice little cool breeze going in.
Thank you.
Obviously, we come in the morning early. I'm usually here about 8 o'clock. And today was especially easy because there's no traffic.
beautiful.
Veterans Day.
it's wonderful.
Salute to the troops, by
thank
the
you
way.
for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
So I'm driving in. People are out. I see joggers. A lot more joggers today. And I'm looking over and I'm like, they think they're better than us. Because it's cold outside and you're running. And you think, you're looking at me in the car saying, fat slob, you piece of we're driving in the
So
car.
a lot of shirtless joggers today.
A lot of people
smug,
jogging,
smug,
Dan.
smug shirtless joggers
They think
today.
they're better than us. Guess what? You're not. You're not better than us just because you run.
They are fitter than us.
Not as good as
They're
us.
Debatable.
Let alone not better.
Sometimes they're a little bit fitter. You don't see a lot of big people running. That's fine. You see thin people running, and that's fine too.
Superior people, they would say.
They would say that, and I would probably tend to agree if they are running in times that we would not be running. They are probably a little bit superior to us. But I felt the judgment from the car, and I looked at him, and I was like, I wanted to scream, "You suck!"
All right, put it on the
Yeah,
poll.
I do that.
Put it on the
Yeah.
poll. You do that?
No, I belittle joggers. Like, I will pull up next to a jogger with my car and start going at the exact same pace that they're running, and then all of a sudden I'll gun it and leave them in the dust. And the car driver is superior. I mean, the jogger, what's he do? He's going like 5 miles an hour. What do you got
Takes
to be
him
proud
forever
of?
to get there.
Yes, it takes him
Put
forever
it,
to
put,
get
it, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Does the jogger feel superior to you?
Don't even let me start up on the bikers too. The people that think they're Lance Armstrong, the people that think they're on the Tour de France.
Oh, my
Guess
God.
what? You're not.
They're
Okay, you
dressed
don't have
up
to wear
like
the
that.
skin tight shirts.
Yes.
And the pants that I can see your.
Oh my
I don't
God.
need to see it.
Terrible.
How about you just your. You can see it all, Dan. I know you talk. I
feel
know on
like
the beach they do that.
I feel like you guys are feeling judged by exercisers. Just yesterday on the show, Greg, you walked in with a cane. A couple of weeks ago, we were dissecting your trick knee on the board there, and it seemed like that happens because you sleep crisscross applesauce. Your knees are in bad shape. And I asked your son just yesterday, when do you think your father, last time he just put on clothes and went to go exercise? And he didn't know how to answer the question, but he thought that it was decades old and it had cobwebs on it.
Well, I'm not wearing biker shorts, I'll tell you that.
But when was the last time you purposely went out and said, because he said that you told your doctor when your doctor asked you, do you get any exercise? Well, I walk around the house.
Yeah, I have a long house. It's like a big L-shaped house. No, I do. I have a long house.
I would say it's just a standard house.
No, it's a long
not-
house.
It might
I
not be
need your support.
it might not be a standard house, but it's not so long. It's a pool room, it's a family room, and it's 3 bedrooms and a kitchen.
Yeah, I fired that doctor, by the way. He's belittling my workout regimen. I'm walking up and down my house. He's going, no, I mean, yeah, cardio and sweat. And,
Look, just to be clear on what his long house
Jog?
is. It's 2 hallways. It's 2 hallways.
Long hallways.
A kitchen, a living room, a family room. It is 3 bedrooms.
A game room.
Okay, but that's the family room and a pool room. Yes, it's a substantive house. But when I think of length, I'm gonna say 3,000, 4,000 square feet, 4,000,
something like that.
4,000,
Yeah, whatever.
It's a giant house.
3,000.
I'm telling you guys, Roy, I've seen your house. It's very similar size to your house.
Okay.
Well, okay.
My parents' house, like they used to spend their money on vacationing. My parents' house is not a lavish house.
Greg's children's bedrooms are small children's bedrooms.
Right, I had small children.
So you've got.
I need your support.
Especially when they were young, they were like really, really small.
You have 3 bedrooms on one side of the house, a master bedroom and 2 bedrooms. That's 1 hallway. Then you have a living area and a kitchen and a pool table area.
And an eating area.
That's the kitchen.
The commissary.
The house is a normal length. No one would consider this exercise.
The point is,
You know
I'm
what?
doing a workout every day.
I'm going to do this. Next time I go to your house, I'm going to show, because when you say walk around the house, what you're talking about to your doctor is I walk from my office to the garage and back and forth. That's what you literally say. And that walk is probably 30 steps.
And it's to get a beer.
Right.
But when I'm going into the garage and out, I'm ascending and descending.
There's one
a large
step. There's one
That's
above
right.
average
There's
size
one step into the garage. There's one step.
And another one back out.
That's the same step.
Yeah.
Twice, though.
Different exercise.
It's not once, it's twice.
Once
Doing
you're
it once
descending,
and up and down.
once you're
If
ascending.
he had an Apple Watch, it would say 2 steps. It would say
I
getting.
do plenty, believe me. I get my exercise.
That's exercise
It's
to you.
about
thank
getting
you.
the heart rate up.
What would not be exercise to you? Like the grandparents in Willy Wonka?
Not sleeping.
Greg, what is the last time you purposely tried to exercise?
I mean, I exercise every day of my life.
Greg, you put on gym clothes, you put on pants, and you said, I'm going to go for a walk outside, something.
I put on Jim's clothes. I borrow his clothes. I put on Jim's clothes.
I need your support.
But I see people running a marathon, right? And I'm like, all right, you're huffing and puffing for 3.5 hours. Do you know how fast my car can go 26 miles? I get the distance that you take 4 hours to run, my car can traverse in what? A few minutes?
20 minutes.
I like the idea of Greg riding side by side with the marathon and just screaming out his window, "Why?"
Grinning maniacally
That's
at them,
exactly.
keeping the same pace, and then speeding off with a cackle.
He peels out.
Why? That's the perfect question.
To be fit, to be healthy.
Come on, Jim Fix died. He crashed into a tree and died. The guy who invented running dies running.
Who invented running?
Jim Fix invented running.
Who the hell is Jim Fix?
All right.
Hey, look it up.
Everyone stop right now. This is a good segment. I want imaging for the next time he says look it up, because this is actually a priceless one, and he can help us with it back in my day, but I would like you to look up the history of Jim Fix, please. I would like the years of Jim Fix, and I would like to verify Greg Cody's accusation that Jim Fix, who invented running, died running by running into a tree.
With the tree thing, I'm a little vague on, but the inventor of running, recreational running, and exercise running, died running.
Okay, that's a good reason not to run. What is the backstory of Jim Fix? Can I get the back in my day music so that I can get the support, the factual support for what it is that Greg Cody is saying? Because again, I will tell you that the key element to that story to me, which appears to be untrue, is that Jim Fix, the inventor of running, died running into a tree. That's the part of the story that got my
look at trees all around
the
him.
part that got my attention was that Jim Fix was just running around, and the dangers of running are so bad that he ran into a tree, hit himself, and died on the side of the road.
This is a still photo, so it doesn't show it. What's about to happen in this photo is that Jim Fix sees
true.
Dianna Russini's kids being attacked by a deer, and he runs to save Dianna Russini's 3-year-old, and he runs into a tree and dies.
Okay. Jeremy, what is accurate here?
James Fuller Fix was an American who wrote the 1977 best-selling book, The Complete Book of Running. He's credited with helping start America's fitness revolution by popularizing the sport of running and demonstrating the health benefits of regularly jogging. He died of a heart attack while jogging at 52 years of age.
Hello.
Now, in Greg's defense, we don't know whether or not when he had that heart attack, if he happened to stumble into a tree, he maybe could have died while running into a tree.
This Jim Fix thing is, you'd think my dad's joking. This is his reasoning for not being active. He has examples, friends of his, who were very active and have passed on. He has examples of people who were workout people, and they've passed.
So he won't wear Jim's clothes.
So he just has this theory of he doesn't believe it. He thinks he's gotten to where he's at without working out, so he's just like, I'm good.
Dan, this is like when your dad was like, "Oh, the guy that ate the salmon. That's why I don't eat salmon because he was healthy.
Thank you
and he died,
for the guy.
but then he didn't die."
It's a great story, Tony, and thank you for bringing it up because my father has been stubborn about this, and I need to tell this story. My father, for years, has said, tells the story this way. Fred Dreyer, former Rams tough guy, detective on television, famous football tough guy. He's like, Fred Dreyer every day for 20 years, all he ate, salmon and broccoli and went running. Salmon and broccoli and went running. Fred Dreyer died running, and that's why I don't eat salmon.
He ain't lying.
No, he was lying because Fred Dreyer's not dead.
Well, still, technicality.
No, but this is the thing. This is the part that my father's been telling this story for years now, and we called him on the internet. We showed him. We called him on it. We just showed him, hey, Dad, that story's not true. Fred Dreyer's still with us. He is not dead. He did not die from salmon while jogging.
Right.
You can eat salmon now. And he's like, I don't believe that.
Yeah, plus he'll die eventually.
Well, he's 79 years young right now.
Yeah, he's still alive. And you have not answered the question of when was the last time you exercised. I guess you're here not to take a quiz, but you have evaded the question. So it's been more than 10 years, though, yes?
Yeah, I'm not going to take a quiz, like you say. And I'm not belittling people who work out. I'm just saying it's not a panacea for health or longevity. You know, if you want to jog, if you want to run marathons, more power to you. If I want to run past you with a grin of a donkey eating briars while I run past you and leave you in the dust, I'm going to do that too.
Tony, he's been using that.
I don't know what to do with that one.
He's been writing, grinning
big salmon just fell right on the table.
Listen, Tone. He has been writing, grinning like a mule eating briars
or a donkey. They're interchangeable.
Yes, either one.
Yeah, God rest his soul, Edwin Pope, the great.
It's not even his line, Tony. He stole it from Edwin Pope.
Stole it from Pope?
That's all his line.
Listen, not only did he steal it from Edwin Pope, I recall laughing with your father at how overwritten it was. Like it wasn't a compliment to the late Edwin Pope, no longer with us, unlike Fred Dreyer. The late Edwin Pope, legendary columnist Greg Cody, steals his lines, but that one we mocked. Grinning like a donkey eating briars, yet you can imagine it. A donkey just chewing on hay, and that's so you jog. So past joggers, you're grinning like a mule or a donkey eating briars, and then you speed up and leave them in the rearview mirror. And if they were to look in your rearview mirror, what they would see is a human being grinning like a donkey eating briars.
Well, I'm shouting out the window, hee haw, three.
But come on, Greg.
Tom now for top 5. Tony's top 5. Greg Cody saying he doesn't know his own lines. Tony, you got to help him with them. Hee haw 3.
Luckily, that's OLI. Hee haw 3. Badea.
Thank you.
Roy, do me the favor of I'd like to get from earlier in the show his dueling hellos when he was right about something. I want to hear. I want you guys to hear the difference between Greg Cody roaring in the first hour with a hello that hasn't lost steam, and his hello in the third hour when he is losing steam. In the interim, top 5 Greg Cody sayings. Tone.
OLI, we had hee haw 3. Badea. OLI number 2.
This is a good
Which
list.
doesn't work with Jumpin' Charlie, I'm guessing.
Everyone was disappointed in that video last night that there was no bird.
What happened?
I know there should have been.
Well, so this is the backstory.
Called him a jerk.
Wait a minute.
He is a jerk at times.
Greg.
Yes.
Before sending your dog that chews up sofas and pillows and you say is trained away to boot camp, you told us that the way that you train the dog, Jumpin' Charlie, is by disorienting him with a sound that was bay. So that stopped working, and then you sent him off to boot camp. So you stopped doing the bay because the
Now
bay.
it's like, Charlie, stop it! Charlie, no!
No, the bay continues to be a disarming sound. Like if I need to distract him for whatever he's doing, and I hit him with a bay, it does get his attention. He gives me that cute dog,
I love when dogs do that.
the ear, the head.
The head
cock.
tilt.
Yeah, I love that.
This is a hell of an OLI.
It's a good OLI. Another OLI. Trailers for sale and rent.
Tony honors me with this list.
50
Rooms
cents.
to rent. Is it rooms to rent?
Yeah.
50 cents.
Right.
Number 5. This is a deep cut, but I like my Greg Cody deep cut. Okay. Number 5.
I would love if this ends with him weeping, sobbing, or some form of just getting emotional because of how you've touched him.
Number 5. Dummy up.
Yeah. Nice.
Can you explain dummy up to the audience that hasn't heard dummy up, Greg?
It's more like when you got to get ready for something. Like, get ready. Dummy up. Like, I'm coming inside right now. Dummy up.
If people are chattering and extraneous noise and everything, I'm like, dummy up, just basically.
Get focused.
It's a very polite way of saying quiet down.
Weird for you to choose that, Tony, given that I've never heard him say it.
Oh, no.
What?
He's
He's
right.
Dummy up?
Yeah.
Come on.
The audience don't understand.
It would be a way like I heard before our pre-show, like, hey, let's go, everyone. Dummy up. Let's go. We're going to talk right here.
Perfect. Yeah. Well
Number
played.
4. Hello.
Get me the dueling hellos because he was so right in the first hour.
Or injured leg.
Hello.
It's amazing. You became an old-timey 90-year-old showgirl.
Injured leg.
Hello. Yeah, that was Ethel Merman. There's no question about it.
Or injured leg.
Hello.
Lois from Family Guy.
Or injured leg.
Hello.
PETA. Number 3. Brad.
Brad.
What a great list.
Whoa, Zaz just got hit with a taste of wetness.
Brad.
Zaz was truly disgusted by the gurgling bubble that came out of that first sound.
Brad.
I mean, I could smell that clip.
Thank you.
Well, it's Brad. Brad. Number 2. Baby.
Baby. Oh, yeah.
Much different than Bay.
It is. Totally different.
That's why baby's number 2. Obviously,
Yes.
it stands in the pantheon of Greg Cody sayings.
Thank you.
And number 1.
Oh, come on, we all
There
know
is no other phrase that Greg Cody is remembered by, says, that kind of thing.
That would have been your number 1 as well?
It might have been. Yeah. Or it might,
What about, he forgot, you never know.
Oh, you never know. Is a good
Forgot
one.
it. Forgot it while offering up dummy up.
I know, but
Dummy up's a good one.
and you know it, though, is Vince.
Oh,
Vintage.
and you know it.
Yeah, and you know it.
No
it's
back
vintage.
jack. That's a fact, Jack.
There's a lot
It's
to
my
get
list,
to.
Dan. You create your own
He's
list.
got, do it at home. Best list wins nothing. Have a contest. You might get some tears. I think it would have been wonderful if at the end somehow you had gotten the cadence on this, on a nostalgic, emotional Kane using Cody. If you got him just weeping at the end to Brad, to his burp where he's just so touched and so honored that your list was so.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to the hello again and tell me you're not seeing someone at the end of a 1950s play come out, an old woman coming out and really hitting that last note, which she's really pleased with how everything's going.
Or injured leg.
Hello. It's like a vaudeville stage. That sound.
Injured leg.
Babe Ruth.
Hello. Poor Zaz. He's going, can't we talk about Norman Powell some more?
Actually, Mike McDaniel
And you know
is where we're headed. The sound has now been confirmed. The video has been confirmed. The audio has been confirmed. That was indeed in a black mat car. Mike McDaniel trolling past the elbow room. The elbow room is filled with Bills fans. One of the most
It is confirmed.
one of the most confusing victories of the year after a confusing week in which the Dolphins do the rare thing of, hey, this is a rare thing, right? Everyone's in trouble. A week ago, all of us around here were howling, oh my God, I've never seen it this way before with the Dolphins. It's going to be GM, coach, and quarterback all swept out to sea. Who's next? What's next? Everything's starting over. And then the owner says, nope, I'm going to get rid of the GM in season. Weird, unusual, but not the coach. I believe in the coach. I'm not going to trade the wide receiver. And now I'm betting on the quarterback for another year. I am going to bet on Waddle, McDaniel, and Tua. I'm stuck because that contract's going to be hard to move. And so next year, I'm going to bet on maybe McDaniel, Waddle, and Tua can dig me out of this. They've got an easy schedule for a month. By the end of this month, we're not going to be saying McDaniel's lost his players anymore. Like, whatever happens the next couple of days, they may lose one of the games. They may win all three. Whatever it is, it's not going to be McDaniel. We're not thinking the next three opponents are so bad that if they put up a 6 points against Cleveland or a 6 points against Baltimore, you'd be confused by it.
I'm pretty sure they're going to be successful over this stretch. Like, I think they're going to be winning some games here.
So here's McDaniel, and in his own words, let's get the sound, because he has confirmed that was indeed him swinging past.
Well, he hasn't confirmed it.
He did not confirm it.
Okay, you tell me what it is you guys hear here.
But there's a picture of you strolling down the elbow room, I guess near A1A. Looks like your car, looks like you, looks like your watch. Is that AI or is that real?
Well, that's why I like the good old days, the throwbacks of yore where you could trust, the internet and the images, because, that is pretty detailed. That I do live in that area, but, I mean, AI, right?
So that doesn't answer the question.
What? I mean...
So are you
confirming or denying?
I mean... I live in that area. AI is real. That's what I got for you.
That's great.
The jokester's back.
They're 3-7. Like, they're 3-7. I don't know. I look, honestly, I think it's lame. They're 3-7. The Buffalo Bills, despite what the Dolphins did to them this past weekend, own the Dolphins. They own them for like a good 10 years now. They never beat them. So it's cool that the Dolphins beat them this weekend, but it's still 3-7 on the year. And like McDaniel's doing a victory lap around elbow room.
Is it lame if he literally is just driving to his house though?
Why is his window down?
And the arm out the window too.
It's a Sunday evening after he finally has a happy thought for the first time in 6 months.
It's a boss move, okay? He's gone from car crying to leaning out into the elbow room. He was car crying. Look, man, this dude was car crying.
He had elbow room.
By the way, when you drive down A1A, even if you're not around elbow room.
What? No, that come on, that's deserved.
His arm was out of the car.
That's
he had elbow
horse.
rim.
It's a
Room,
boss.
whatever.
It's a boss.
That
move.
kind of thing.
It's a boss move to roll down your window. When you're driving down A1A, you just roll down your window.
Yeah, you
That's
do.
what
Hell yeah.
Hello.
Tony, you had the hammer. You just had to hit him again in the
where
back
did
of
rim
the head.
come
Hammer,
from?
you gotta use it.
Elbow room. Where did the rim come from? McDaniel stuck his elbow out and Zaz offended.
Driving a Bentley, too.
Again, doesn't like football. Guy does not like football.
It's just corny. They're 3-7.
Let me tell you something here. Okay.
Ooh, kitties.
With everything that McDaniel's been through this season, he's allowed to enjoy a big win over
You get a
division
night.
opponent. He's
Everything
allowed
he's been
that.
through, you say that like somebody's done something to him.
Another thing, nobody deserves a comeuppance more than the Bills and Bills fans.
Plus, get out of our elbow room.
I was grinning like a donkey eating
Here we
briars earlier today when we were talking about has the Bills window closed. Has it ever opened? Listen, they haven't won anything since 1965. They haven't been in a Super Bowl since 1993. When Sean McDermott says at halftime, we got to get back to playing Buffalo Bills football. What kind of football is that exactly? Something that hasn't won in 60 years? What is Buffalo Bills football? The window was never open. The Bills were never better than the third team in the AFC when Lamar Jackson's healthy and Mahomes is playing. It's a fallacy that the Bills ever had a Super Bowl window. It hadn't shut because it hasn't never opened.
That is fire from Greg Cody. 60 years of losing football in Buffalo. This is the best hope they've had since those Super Bowl teams. But we have breaking news here that might make some of you grin like a mule or a donkey eating briars. Nico Harrison has been fired by the Mavs. I don't know what Greg Cody is celebrating by throwing his hands up in the air. Why? What do you?
I'm celebrating because for 2 years now, this has been a story that only that city cared about. But it's somehow become one of the biggest stories in the NBA because he makes an unpopular trade. His fans won't get over it, and now all of a sudden they get what they wanted, and now all the fans are happy again because they have their scapegoat.
Just to be clear, the report is that he will be fired at a 10 a.m. Central meeting, which will be in 6 minutes.
Well, Shams Charania followed up that tweet saying the Mavericks are firing Harrison.
Just wanted to make sure.
I am so annoyed, Dan. I am so annoyed because you can confirm. Everyone can confirm. Tony, confirm.
Oh,
it.
wait
Do
a minute.
It.
You know what? I'm
so
sorry.
annoyed.
He should be annoyed. We got distracted with Greg Cody Kane talk, and Zaslow had this story
I'm so annoyed.
hours ago. Zaslow had this story. He came in here saying, he did say this. This is true. Shams is 2 hours late to this story. Zaz came in here today saying, I've got locked down. Nico's going to be fired.
I'm so annoyed. Tony, I said that, right?
You did. You said
No,
it.
you came in.
You don't like football, but you said it.
We didn't get to it because Greg Cody was weeping and hugging a piece of wood. And that's what but you had that story before that. Zaslow, the journalist. Zaslow, the insider.
Here's the thing about journalism. If you have a big story, you sort of have to break the news.
You're right.
You have to tell somebody that you know.
No, I did tell them. I didn't say it into the microphone yet.
He had it, and I got distracted. Look, I'm going to take 100%. This is on me. Zaz has so much news. Zaz has so many journalism credentials. Zaz is spilling content. He told us before the show, hey, I got that Nico Harrison's going to be fired, and I didn't get to it. That's the God's honest truth. He was to this story 2 hours before Shams, and he said he had it locked down.
8:47 a.m. I looked at you guys, and I said, I'm going to mention on the show today that Nico Harrison is getting fired.
Yeah, it's a Shams that you never got to it.
I still don't understand why you threw your arms up in the air when Nico Harrison was fired as if you had won something.
No, because finally, I didn't predict it.
I mean,
it would have been
baffled.
pretty easy to
Look,
predict, but I never predicted it.
That's not what Zaslow
I didn't
was doing.
predict anything.
Zaslow was going to report it. He was not going to predict it. He
But
won.
then he never got around to
We had
reporting it.
graphics and that's true, but it's my fault. It's not his fault. It is absolutely my fault because, again, I was distracted by you hugging a piece of wood.
Pre-snap penalty by you.
I had to get to my take on false starts. It was more.
Could have fit in right there.
That would have been a good place to get to it, but instead I was railing for 9 straight minutes about the idea that there would be pre-snap penalties.
Nobody hates the false start more than you.
Had to talk about Jim Fix. Instead, I could have my name up there. Jonathan Zaslow was reported.
I broke the news he died running into a tree.
Hello.
Thank you.
Dan, I'm so annoyed.
No, you should be. I'm just still laughing at how right Greg Cody is.
Thank you.
At how good that hello is, because I want to show you the difference at some point between the first hello and the second hello, so you see how you peter out.
No, the second one's better. Put it on the poll.
Hello.
We'll get to the second one in a second, but before Zaslow, I'm sorry. I want to publicly apologize to you, privately apologize to you. This one is all my fault. He had this story 2 hours ago. But what do you make of it now that it's so? Because Rare has an executive. I was confused, Greg, by your take, something only people cared about regionally, whether a GM.
Yeah, that's not true.
We learned this man's name, and I would say the general public learned this man's name as a reason to laugh at incompetence. As a joke on the internet, the Dallas Mavericks, who used to be run by Mark Cuban, are now run by a buffoon as they go through an ownership transition because nobody ever in the history of sports makes this trade without at least calling around. It's not Anthony Davis, broken player for huge superstar in his prime. Lakers are going to be fine for 10 years if he stays healthy, and they have their transition out of LeBron. Nico Harrison is the face of sports executive incompetence. He's been running afoul of ownership here since lucking into Cooper Flagg, who's supposed to be a franchise player, but the Mavs don't look very good for a lot of reasons.
And his response to that was, I'm glad the fan base is finally starting to see the plan.
The plan to get lucky and get
They
a
had
guy
like a 1% chance.
He would have had that spot, by the way.
The plan. Look, he obviously deserved to be fired. The team is 3-8. He said the window to win is right now, which is why they're making the trade. And the guy that they made the trade around, the reason that they only called the Lakers and did not call around was because of everyone in the league. Nico Harrison identified Anthony Davis as the guy that he wants. And that guy never plays. He's never available. The team is 3-8. They're terrible. But here's also the thing now. The ownership is firing Nico Harrison, and it's like, holy you allow the general manager to make a franchise-altering move. At the very least, you can argue that the ownership wanted him to make the deal. I don't believe that. But you do have to agree that the ownership has to sign off on the deal. So you sign off on that deal?
And as an added bonus, just so people understand sort of the reverberating historical context on this, it is the single most stunning and heartbreaking trade in the history of all sports in that market. There has been nothing close. There's nothing, a close second place to you allowed an executive who is now fired 18 months ago to make the single most stunning and heartbreaking decision in the history.
8 months ago.
In the history of the market.
Yeah, 8 months ago. You allow him to alter the course of your franchise, and then you don't let him see it through? Now, it never should have happened in the first place, but you can't allow him to make this move and then fire it. It's not like you get a do-over on the move.
So, like, what do you see through? An Anthony Davis who doesn't look great, who's not playing. Kyrie Irving, who's hurt. We don't know when he's going to come back. Cooper Flagg, who, okay, he's good right now, but let's see what it is. Like, how long? He said they've got a 3 or 4 year window.
If you're willing to say you got it wrong in such a short period of time, you can't allow this big of a move to be made in the first place.
If 8 months later he's worthy of being fired, that's not a person who should be in charge in the power structure of being allowed to do that. If 8 months later you're going to decide this person is not the person for the job,
it's crazy.
And so what ends up happening there, and this is the part that doesn't get talked about enough, like, you had an ownership change there that didn't have an appreciation for what the value of this asset was. And so they desecrated everything that Mark Cuban did there. Like, they just didn't understand what they were doing because they put a boob in charge and allowed him to make the most seismic trade and then becomes the fall guy for the economics of you didn't want to give the guy you worried was going to be fat hundreds of millions of dollars.
I think this signifies what you don't see all that often, which is the power of fans. I think if the Dallas fans hadn't reacted as if their franchise had committed mutiny.
This is not the power of fans. This is the weakness of ownership. This is not the power of fans.
I don't think if those fans reacted the way they did, that he would necessarily have been fired right now.
The Dallas Mavericks had like a 20-year sellout streak at home. It ended last night.
Greg, I understand that the groundswell would have happened in any market with this superstar. Any market, like this, Dallas is not a unique sports market. Any market would have been outraged by the everything of that.
Yeah, but this was sustained. This was 18 months later or whatever.
No, as he said, 8 months later, and I'm going to say it again to what Zaz is saying. Like, as a show of incompetence from leadership, the scar that this leaves on Dallas sports is permanent. You will rarely find in the future, you won't find in the past, something that will hurt the Dallas fan base like this to know that a bozo traded away a superstar in his prime who's never available, and 8 months later, new ownership decided that he was a bozo. Oh, yeah, you were right. Like, that's a level of leadership and competence that has very little precedent. In a market, like, you just don't get a superstar like that has that emotional connection of, oh, we get to watch the next 10 years of hope there. He's better than everybody, and we chose a GM over him and a player who can't play ever.
Hello.
Folks, listen up. All your favorite NBA players are back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code DAN. That's code DAN. Bet $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass. Plus, get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Yeah. Nick Wright will be here shortly. I'm sure he has some thoughts on the Nico Harrison firing. This is a tweet from Ian Begley. Heard several Mavs players this season have preferred to play on the road rather than playing home games due to the charged atmosphere as it relates to Nico Harrison. They weren't passing judgment on fans, more so just having a human reaction to atmosphere. The Mavs have played 7 of 10 at home. I cannot explain to you guys what a historic poisoning of a well this was that one man was made to be the scapegoat on and the face of when he's not the only one responsible for this. Do not allow new ownership to hide behind this person whose carcass they throw in the street as a laughingstock because they traded away the most popular thing they've had in basketball since Dirk Nowitzki and maybe ever. They traded away a historic sports superstar, bigger than all the ones on all the other teams in the markets that you've cared about. All of them. Dak Prescott is not this. Whatever you think, Jerry Jones is the Cowboys. The biggest thing in that market as a superstar athlete was this in its prime. Took you to the finals, and it was going to be the beginning of growth. Ownership did that, and there's a carcass in the street, and it'll never work again, and we will laugh at it because it will ultimately be responsible for this. But know that that responsibility, the power structure on that, does not die at his doorstep. That goes well above him. The Mavs ownership has poisoned this and its fan base, thrown away all of Mark Cuban's goodwill. All of it. Not a little bit of it. Everything Mark Cuban built there for 30 years, new ownership, threw that in the street and let its fans eat it. And so don't let this man take this alone. This is top-heavy ownership. This is everything that leads the Mavericks, has desecrated the 20 years that came before it with this trade and this firing 8 months later. This is the height of economic and executive incompetence.
This is not over, though. Like, it's good right now. The fan base is happy, I'm sure, that Nico Harrison's gone, and they're not going to chant fire Nico anymore. But that anger is now just going to transfer to Patrick Dumont. Like, this atmosphere in that building is not over. Maybe it would be a little bit better if Anthony Davis were healthy and actually playing. They're going to, maybe, in 6 months when Kyrie Irving returns, it'll feel a little bit better. But this team sucks.
No, you have to hit on Cooper Flagg. And this can.
Oh, but they are hitting on him. Like, he looks good.
No, but this can swallow him. Like, this is how you build the next part of the story. The only way to actually I'm not even going to say repair or put balm on what this particular wound is because it's so emotional and sort of personal. Again, I just can't say it enough. Superstar in his prime that everyone cares about internationally, you just don't get the 10 years of promise of that. And so Cooper Flagg has to be something close to as good as him. It's the only way. It's not even balm. It just soothes a little bit. The scar of this will last. Like, you wreck a generation of fans here. Like, you wound kids with this in a way that Cooper Flagg gets that crucifix.
It's a top-down situation, obviously, from the ownership. They have to sign off on the trade. Is there any sort of flack or any sort of, like, hey, what's going on with Mark Cuban? Right?
I said that months ago.
He didn't need to sell his portion of the team.
I said that months ago, that Cuban has completely skated in this scenario. He gets to sit there and play this victim. Oh, I wasn't consulted. I wouldn't have done it. I didn't have any control. He sold the team to these people because he wanted the highest dollar value. That's fine. But he sold the team to these people who very clearly have no interest in basketball. There appears to be an ulterior motive, casinos, this, that. He chose to sell to these people, and now he sits there as if he's some kind of victim. Why didn't you make sure you were the caretaker of the franchise? Make sure if you're going to sell the team to somebody, you're giving it over to someone who is going to take just as good care of the team as you did, or take by far the most money possible. And that's what he chose.
And the bullshit the year was like, oh, no, I'm going to still be involved in basketball.
Yeah.
No, you're not, buddy. You sold the team.
Yeah.
You know who makes decisions? People that write the check.
Yeah.
You got the check. It's over. There's nothing for you to say. They don't have to consult you for it.
Don't they need to trade Anthony Davis now? Because with Nico Harrison gone, Anthony Davis is going to remain the face.
They should
of
totally
all
start
of
over.
this.
They should.
Yes.
They should totally start over.
Start over with Cooper Flagg and go from there.
Hello.
All right, before we get to Nick Wright here, can you give me Ethel Merman's hello, and can you give me just some history of Ethel Merman as Greg Cody keeps the show in the demo that we've always wanted it in? He sounds like Ethel Merman. Get me Ethel Merman sounding like Ethel Merman.
Hello.
What is that?
That is an old woman singing, and so as well is this.
Hello.
Give me just the history of Ethel Merman real quick. I've got to get younger here on Greg Cody Tuesdays.
Ethel Merman, born in 1908, died in 1984, performing on Broadway in Anything Goes, Annie Get Your Gun, Gypsy, and, of course, Hello, Dolly.
That's her classic, Hello, Dolly. You kidding me? Ethel Merman, that kind of thing.
Nick Wright with us now, and he's the host of FS1's First Things First. What's Right with Nick Wright is the podcast I keep urging you to listen to because he does it with his son, and it is charming, it's endearing, it's humanizing. I don't think
Thank you, Dan.
I don't believe people get to see this side of you that often.
Well, so is that a shot at the viewership numbers of the pod? Because if that's charming, they get to see it quite often. It's 3 days a week, mass platformed. But on that note, this is kind of a perfect synergy because you're talking about the show getting younger. I'm about to make the show feel a hell of a lot older because I am not doing the podcast. Greg's gonna love this. With my son for the next few weeks because he is out because as of yesterday he's on paternity leave, which means Greg Cody, I'm with you on Team Grandpa.
What?
You and me. I need to brush up on the Ethel Merman news because we're not getting younger, boys. We're getting older.
Congratulations. Woo! Grandpa Nick Wright.
Grandpa Nick Wright.
Man.
How about that? I know, man. It's gotta be so confusing to people that just casually drop into this show or my show or the pod or whatever. If I get, referenced as a grandfather and they're like, wait,
yeah,
the guy with the gambling problem and the jewelry who, is like, that guy's a grandfather. Nobody understands it. I'll be honest, I don't totally understand it. But it is what it is. And so, so that's the big news. That's as of 2 days ago. And I gotta think, I think the last grandfather because Wilbon or Kornheiser, one of them's gotta be, right? That wasn't me being fresh. Like, I don't know but I was going to say, am I the first grandfather on daytime sports TV since your dad?
Okay, so you're not talking Lee Corso category. You want the grandpa? Hold on, I thought you were feuding with Pablo and Mina. Now you want the grandpa demo?
I want it all. I want it all. And by the way, I'm not feuding. I'm not feuding with Mina. And I thought, I thought Mina's tweet this weekend was pitch perfect and really well done. And I'm very excited. I mean, on pins and needles, refreshing the feed for the only, honest journalist left in America for the long-form episode on, what is that Stephen A. Solitaire app all about? Listen, no sacred cows, I'm sure. I'm sure Pablo's furiously working on it. And I know he's got a lot of irons in the fire. But it feels like it's like, is it gambling? Is it not? Sports people? Listen, the Phil Mickelson texts are great, and I'm all in for it. It gets a little stickier to do this story, but, the journalism goes wherever the story is. I'm excited to hear the episode. Hi, Greg.
How you doing, Nick? Hey, do you have the over or under on the delivery date for your
Well, no, I would have. That bet's in. She was a few days late. My wife's out there.
2 days ago. Wait a minute. What kind of
that's right.
question
Greg-
is that?
He just said as of 2 days ago. He said it like a minute
Guys,
ago.
that kind of thing. Don't worry about it.
Exactly, that kind of thing. I thought it was a pending birth. I didn't know it was.
No, Greg, it's fine. It's fine, Greg.
Thank
Don't
you.
worry about it, buddy.
I appreciate
He's just
that.
asking, and you know what? I was going to play along. I was going to act like, I had the over and I
Thank
lost.
you.
I knew it was a mistake, but it doesn't matter. Greg, us old folks got to stick together.
I hear you.
Us old
I hear that. You look like my
These
grandson.
young kids.
The hell's going on?
I know. This is unbelievable. So that's the news, Dan.
Congratulations! I am
you.
thrilled. I am thrilled for you, and I didn't realize that the Poppy Lane is open on being a grandpa publicly, growing up in front of sports fans as a grandpa. I actually want to tackle the thicket of the gambling stuff with you because.
Sure.
You are somebody who must be fascinated, like really riveted by everything that's happening here, from the amateurism surrounding Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups, and just how buffoonish all of this is. The FBI, the NBA investigation, the mafia, all of it seems pretty dumb. Then you have the baseball scandal, which gets less attention, and I'm not sure why. When you're talking about, you're going to get lifetime bans there as well. One of them from one of the great closers in the game. How do you take the macro?
And then there's the poker piece, which, again, I don't want Pablo knocking on my door, but and maybe I should respond to some of his text messages. Bad job by me, but I mean, I read those indictments, the full indictments, and I'm like, oh. I recognize at least two of those names. Like the poker piece was real. Like those are not games that I play in, but those are 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, we'd be a couple degrees.
But when you're reading the details on this, even the most amateur of poker players would know that those games were rigged in a way that's not sophisticated. Like
I disagree with that. I think the way those games were rigged was super sophisticated. I think that any person that regularly plays poker for real money knows, hey, one of the skills of being someone who plays cards for money is being able to sense out if the game's on the level or not. But there are a lot of ways people, Dan, and I know we can get to the sports betting piece of this, but just on the poker piece, because this is like super, I'm really in that. And it's one of the reasons, so let me just back up a little bit real quick. One of the reasons I travel all the way to Vegas, and if I can't get to Vegas, I go to Philadelphia, or that I play in that game from last month that's too big for me, is because I want the certainty of the following three things: that the game is not being cheated, that the game is going to get paid at the end of it, that the game is not going to be, you're not going to be sitting in a card game and have the cops come in because someone's either selling drugs out of one of the rooms or because it's an illegal casino where they're taking a rake. So the game that I play in New York that's too big for me to play in really is totally legal because no one's taking a rake. Like, you can play poker with your friends for $10 a man or $10 million a man, and it's totally legal as long as the house is not taking a cut. And so whenever you venture outside of the casino, you run the risk of different types of cheating. The most common type of cheating is collusion, which is you, me, Greg, the shipping. There's 7 of us playing together, and 6 of us have all said, hey, we're going to chop up each other's winnings and losings. And then poor Greg, so basically it's all of us against Greg. Like, that is... that's a way to get someone. You get someone big in the game, and they can't win because it's 1-on-6 basically. So that happens a lot, and you got to be careful of it. There is people, just 2 people having pieces of each other. So Dan, you and I are in a game, and you have 50% of my action, I have 50% of your action, so we're incentivized to have the other person do well, which changes how we play, which is kind of okay, but certainly not okay if it's not disclosed to everyone. That happens, and you've got to be aware of it.
Victims known as, quote, fish.
Yeah, exactly. What is being alleged here is the rigged shuffling machine is very sophisticated.
Yes.
And scary. And the marked cards is not sophisticated in that it's obviously been done for years, but having it done on that level is surprising. And so, yeah, like that's unrelated to the sports betting, except for the fact it gave you a little bit of a window that, oh man, some of these guys might be in more money trouble than I thought and be putting themselves in worse positions than I thought. I think I have the fix to the sports betting piece.
What was the original question? Just talk about poker for 20 minutes?
Well, this is the problem with him, and sometimes if you allow him,
bad job
no,
there?
no, you didn't do a bad. No, look, that
was informative.
Don't let them get to you, Nick.
Hey, where's the date, by the way?
Nick, you did not do a poor job with that. That was absolutely good
Making sure.
content that was super nourishing for the ill-informed as someone who comes from the inside of this world. The thing that I was saying that wasn't sophisticated is just when the cards are landing the way they are, there's not a way to bet that the cards are going to be gut shots on the river and you get it right every time. Like, that seems super unsophisticated. But the next...
Well, yes. So you shouldn't... So here's what I'll say just very quickly, and put me on a damn timer, Chris Cody. I thought I was... You guys can do more Ethel Merman sound drops. I thought I was actually being helpful here. But you should not be able to be scammed more than twice by the same group. I was in... God dog it, where was I? I played in a game that I am certain was rigged in Milan. But I played in it once.
What was the giveaway?
I kind of caught him, but there's nothing I could do. And that was...
Like in Rounders, you just like grabbed his hand?
Was there a hanger?
It was a private game in a casino, but it was private. It was in a casino.
James Bond?
I shouldn't have played. As soon as I got there and they're like, "Oh, there's a bigger game upstairs you can play in," I should have been like, "That's a bad idea." But I was an idiot, and I was winning a very little bit. And then I told them, I was like, "Hey, I got one more round, then I gotta leave." And second to last hand was one of these setup hands. Like that you hear about, but those happen. Those happen just organically, or it could be a setup. Where I get aces, someone else has queens, all the money goes in pre, and a queen comes out, and I lose. I'm like, God dog it. Bad luck. And so that I did not know it was rigged because of that. I was like, it's bad luck. And I left. And then about 3 minutes after I left, when I go to get my wife who's playing blackjack, I'm like, oh man, I left my sweatshirt up there. And I went back, and as I'm walking back, I hear them all talking about it and laughing. I'm like, God dog it. Bad job by me. It's like, that's a bad job by me. It's a bad job by me. But I did that to myself.
I
could
love
have
the
played
sentence,
in a safer
though.
game.
The sentence, though, I played in a game that was rigged in Milan. It really did.
Thinks he's James Bond.
It did make him sound like James Bond, did it not?
Yes.
Even though he's the sucker in the story.
I'm the sucker. I'm the sucker.
The other part of this, though, outside of the poker, and you took out Stephen A. Smith, and you took
What
out.
do you mean? I didn't take out anybody. I'm just waiting for the only journalist left in America to, listen. Maybe that'll make cocktail parties a little uncomfortable at times. I just want the truth. But go ahead.
Pablo Torre, do you have anything else for him? You've been very critical of his award-winning podcast.
I've not been critical. I have not been critical at all of his podcast, actually. I've been very complimentary.
Critical of
I
him.
think the
critical of his high.
I do. I've not. I have, guy, listen, just like Pablo, I just call balls and strikes. And, so occasionally, do I notice something like Pablo somehow having fresh, ready, available on his phone, a New York Times screenshot from 2019 because his old Harvard econ professor got an obit when he passed and uses that to when someone questions his credentials. I'm no economist, but I did take a semester of microeconomics and a semester of macro. Also, my professor was literally this guy, and then just saved screenshot from the guy's New York Times obituary. Do I find that adorable? Of course I do. Because everyone does. I just evidently, everyone's decided, man, that someone should say something to Pablo. We don't want to. I bet Nick will take care of it for us. So I will take on that burden. But the podcast is great and deserves all of the flowers, and it has been fearless, which is, so I just want to learn more about the Solitaire app. But you had a question for me about the prop betting before we get to your and my big bet, which I've set up beautifully.
Yes, thank you. Outside of the poker elements of this that are fascinating to you, the prop elements of this, they're obviously going to get control of this. You're not going to be able to bet individual pitches anymore. And explain to me how we arrive at Emmanuel Clase over what is reported as, $400,000 is risking his career for $400,000. I thought that some of these players made too much money to be tempted by the prop bets.
I think there is a level of unsophistication from non-gamblers about how easy it is to flag those types of irregularities. And so I think it's as simple as it's perceived as a victimless crime, and how are you going to prove it? So I just think it's like ignorance too. Oh, it is going to be so easy to catch you. I think that guy probably thought, I throw a bad first pitch all the time. Prove it. And so I think that is, I think people don't realize that any market that there's typically, very low volume on, that all of a sudden has huge volume on it, that always means there's inside information. Always. And so the rub is, here is what is true. Pre-massive legalized gambling, there were more games, particularly on the collegiate level, that someone would be on the take on, and we would not find out because there wasn't a database of the bets because it was done at bars and, with bookies or whatever it is. So it is true that legalized gambling has made it way easier and quicker to root out actual game fixing, or a player on a college team, they're favored by 17 and it's like, okay, we can still win, just not cover. That stuff, thanks to legalized gambling, will be discovered instantaneously. What is also true is, pre-legalized gambling, you could not make these individual player prop bets. They did not exist. Certainly first pitch, certainly Terry Rozier unders and overs, those didn't exist. So how do we account for that? And I think it's very simple. I think there are very easy ways, because I have said make them one-way markets, which means only offer overs on individual player performance bets. That would fix a lot of this. That also, again, I don't want to get too in the weeds, but is really bad for the bettor, and I don't want that, because the thing a two-way market shows you is what the fair price is. So if we set Steph Curry's total points at 25.5, and the over is minus 140, and the under is plus 100, so you then see, okay, so there is a 20-cent vig that it should be, minus 120 is where the equilibrium is. You see how much the vig is. If you only have overs available to you, you don't see what the fair market price is. So I don't love that for the bettor, for the consumer. So I do think the workaround, Dan, is this. I think all of these places saying essentially For anything other than star players, the player prop market has very low limits, like $50. And you can, because what they want is parlays anyway, because that's what everybody loves to bet these days. That's what, so you could have 17 player props in a parlay and still have it. So I think you just have to put very low limits on non-superstar player props.
And the superstar is uncontaminated because there's too much to risk, too much money involved. It would cost too much to get in the game. Okay, so what other, before we get to our bet and before I get your thoughts on Nico Harrison being let go, because you just can't let a guy you're going to fire 8 months later make that trade, Nick. Like that's
I don't think they had any idea they were going to fire him. And I heard your guys blasting Mark Cuban. That's so unfair. And I'm not. It's not even like I'm a huge Cuban fan, even though it does appear he and I have very similar feelings on the podcast. But I do think that if I had my family home that my family's lived in for 100 years, and it's like, you know what, it's time to sell. The market's great, and I sell it to an otherwise seemingly normal person, and then 3 months later they light it on fire. I don't think it'd be fair for like my son to be like, why didn't you see that coming, Dad? That's where we grew up. I'm like, well, I didn't think they were going to burn it to the ground for sport. Yeah. Like, I don't think Cuban could have saw they're going to trade Luka Doncic in the middle of the night because Nico Harrison is so bothered by the fact that there's someone in the organization more powerful than him.
Yeah, your home doesn't have fans, though, Nick. Like, the only people who care about the home are the people living in the home at the time. The franchise has millions and millions of people who care about it.
My home has
fans.
fans.
But he didn't sell it to, hold on. He had no reason to think he was selling it to, how would he anticipate if I sell the Mavs to the Adelsons who own casinos, they are then going to put in charge the son-in-law, who is then going to empower Nico Harrison, who is then going to make the single worst trade in 100 years of sports. Like, I don't get what you're saying. Like, it'd been one thing if he's like, hey, guys, I'm selling the team to the Paul brothers, and they're going to do, or I'm selling the Mavs to Mr. Beast, and he's going to start holding contests for who's going to be on the team. Then it's like, okay, maybe we've done wrong by our fans. He just sold the team to a totally normal, the type of people that buy teams.
No, he sold the team to someone who doesn't give a about basketball and might have ulterior motives when it comes to their casino business.
But, okay, that again, I'm not really trying to argue, but I guess I don't know how to do anything else. Those are the ulterior motives because of the casino business is in direct conflict with trading Luka Doncic. Unlike, so are you real? So this is, I am going to be serious about something for a moment. And I'm not accusing you of doing this, but I really, really don't like when people bat their eyes at dumbass conspiracies they don't believe because it aids an argument that they want to make. If you are arguing that trading Luka Doncic was part of a plot to move the Dallas Mavericks and premeditated and all of it, then say that. If you think that's as dumb as I think it is, then I don't understand the point you made about their casino business.
No, I don't. There's no proof until that actually happens, so I don't really know about all that. But I do think that as a caretaker to a franchise, which is what Mark Cuban was, I think there's a responsibility that when the day comes that you're handing over the franchise, that maybe you make sure it's going to continue to be in good hands.
How do you do that?
You make sure that you're selling it to people who care. I mean, he decided to sell it to anyone who is offering the most money possible, which of course is his right. And by the way, Nick, I mean, how silly is it to assume that he was still going to be the governor of the team?
That I think is the biggest point.
That part I agree with. That part I agree with, even though it now seems like Jeannie Buss actually is going to be the governor of the team. I agree with that part. But I don't hear the end of the... How do you ensure that this one could argue, just for whatever it's worth, that the act of allowing Luka Doncic to be traded shows a more, not committed, but involved owner than most teams have. One would imagine that if it's just, I don't give a shit about this asset, I'm just adding it to my portfolio, that the marching orders would be just status quo it. Don't do anything crazy. Like, I think Nico Harrison was a madman, but I think retrofitting it to Mark Cuban should have seen coming down the pike that if he sells it to the Adelsons, they are going to value the Mavericks so little that they put in charge of it their son-in-law, and he is then going to be enraptured by this GM who then... So all of those things have to happen, and then that GM has to also say, I want to trade Luka Doncic, and be convinced not to tell anyone about it. Like, that is, talk about drawn to an inside straight, that is such an unlikely sequence of events. I think blaming Cuban for it's crazy. I just do.
Nick, I agree with you on those points. There's no way to see that coming. But when you do sell majority stake of the team and you're still nebulous in your basketball, like, I'm going to still be kind of a part of this and, like, be overseeing stuff, but then have something happen that went under your nose, and now it's like, oh, no, I didn't see this.
And you still own 27% of the team, so you're ostensibly going into partnership with these people on they get to make the decisions, and you trust them to do so.
And he hired Nico Harrison. Like, Cuban, by the way, hired Nico Harrison.
No, correct. So all that, to me, is, like, fair criticism. That part I agree with. I just think that what we have is a fan base that has been murdered in a way I honestly think is nothing like, there's been nothing like it since the dude who owned the Red Sox sold Babe Ruth because he wanted to make a play that I think that Ethel Merman was in. And we are looking at the murdered fan base. There is someone standing with a knife over the body, and we're like, hey, who's the person that decided to ship those knives to the hardware store, and who's the clerk who sold it to him? It's like, guys, there is one villain here above all else. And he's the guy who got fired an hour ago.
We're going to let him go in a second. Always appreciate his time. We'll tell you again, even though his son is not on it, Grandpa Nick Wright over the next couple of weeks has a wonderful podcast that he used to do with his son, What's Right with Nick Wright, back when he wasn't a grandpa. What is the nature of our bet? Because I'd like to know how it is. DraftKings has told me that they are working on a Corvette, and so I don't.
All right, so here's what I propose. And this is one is just for because I want the whole shipping container rooting in the same direction for the biggest Chiefs regular season game that they've played since Mahomes has been there, because they don't play big regular season games prior to this year. If the Chiefs beat the Broncos by 3.5, I'll give the shipping container plus Tony. Who is it that I talk to every day when I first started? It's Tony, right?
Lewis.
Sorry, Lewis.
Oh,
my
plus
bad.
Lewis. Lewis is.
Tony's in the shipping container.
Whoa, so you're.
That's what I thought. I was confused.
Those Latin guys.
They all look the same.
They all
We're
look
brothers.
The same.
That's why.
Okay, first of all, I've never seen Lewis. I don't know what he looks like. For all I
He kind of
knew,
looks like you.
Oh, there he is. What up? Oh, that's a good-looking fellow. You're right.
You can't imagine how happy you've made him. How much is this bet going to be worth that you're just...
Listen, it's not even a bet. Because I'll be in the clear. Because I still feel bad. And Dan, you don't have to put anything up. If the Chiefs beat the Broncos by at least 3.5, I'll give the shipping container plus Lewis $2,500 to distribute amongst themselves.
Per person?
Feel better about. No, relax, Cody. And
What am I,
Cody,
chopped
you're
liver?
about to be cut out from the beginning. You're really on a thin ice. What I would like to do with Dan, but I don't know if now we have time to do it because it's such great content. I would like to do a Super Bowl champion draft, me versus Dan, and whomever ends up with the Super Bowl champion, the other person's got to give them the white Corvette.
Yes,
That's
I like
what
this.
I want to do. But do we have, I don't know how much time you have left in the show. Do we have time to pull that off?
Yes, I think we can.
We're not going to do the draft right now. We will do the draft next week.
Next time you're on, we will do it, but we will commit to that bet. But right now, what you're committing to is the shipping container is rooting 5 people, just because there was confusion about this last time.
Yeah, it's the 4 people there today plus Lewis, so it's $500 a man is what they'll get.
Wow, Lewis is in. Okay.
Just want to put the record straight. That means Mike Ryan is excluded. I'm just putting that out there. Yes.
I mean, is he there today?
Nope.
No, so it's $500 a piece is what we're saying.
That's right.
$500 a piece this weekend. All they need to root for is the Chiefs 3.5. Okay. I'll double that. All right. So
Wow.
We're going to have a good
Wait,
Christmas
wait a second. Are we rooting for the Broncos then? Plus the points?
No, God, no. Who said that?
Roy?
Who said that?
What? What? What?
We get $1,000?
See you later,
Yeah.
Nick. Good talking
Bye.
to you.
Against the spread.
Against the spread is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Chris.
Oh, you guys know no one's better at this than me. I say Trevor Rogers is going to be bad. He's fantastic. So you listen to me. You definitely don't fade me. All right, people? I am taking the Commanders plus 2.5 against the Dolphins in Spain.
The classic reverse jinx.
You see what I'm doing here. I am trying to reverse this. I know anything I say here will lose, so I'm taking the Commanders plus 2.5 in Spain. Tony, what do you got?
Zaz, you know about them New York Knicks?
Yeah.
You know about the Memphis Grizzlies?
Yeah.
What do you know about the Grizzlies?
John Morant hates playing for that coach.
Bad. Grizzlies suck.
He sucks.
New York Knicks, 9.5-point favorites tonight at home against the Memphis Grizzlies.
Dig it.
I'm taking those Knicks with minus laying the points. I don't care. 10, they're going to beat them by 15. I don't
Dig it.
care.
Hey, give me
I'm going to take the Knicks over the Memphis Grizzlies, 9.5 against the spread.
Excellent job, guys. All right. Hey, Juju, how you doing, man?
What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Well, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not doing great because I don't know if you heard before, the big news of the day is Nico Harrison has been fired, and I got scooped by a young up-and-coming insider, Shams Charania, when the fact of the matter is I have eyewitnesses here in the studio that I told today I am going to report Nico Harrison is about to be fired.
They'd be ear witnesses, no?
Whatever, man. So, Juju, I'm not doing so great.
Could have tweeted it out, no?
Yeah, you're right. No, I bear some blame here as well. That's completely fair.
Yeah, I'm an ear witness as well, and it pained me when I saw that tweet come out because one of the first things I heard this morning on the Zoom.
Oh, you were on the Zoom this morning. Okay, there you go.
Zaz walked in and was like, "I got Nico being fired."
Yep.
I'm gonna say that today. Let's get to that.
I'm telling you, I blew it. I really did. I blew
Right.
Greg, that ever happened to you? You got a big scoop and somebody beat you to it? This is the first time it's ever happened to me.
Is that 2 shows in a row? Didn't Mike on the show yesterday say Dayball's getting fired today, and then he got fired later in the show?
That's right.
We're on a streak now, 2 in a row.
That's right.
What are we going to predict? Tomorrow.
Right. I mean, I give some of the blame to you a little bit.
Yeah.
But I still think, like, bro, my brother Dan, he was in a long soliloquy about false starts, like passionate one, for real.
Yeah.
Like, and then what's the jogging brother, Joe Fix or something like?
Jim
he was
Fix.
Jim
The
Fix,
inventor of running.
We were talking about that. We even circled back to the Dolphins again before we got to even buzzer beaters from last night. It's a lot going on. So yeah, you get a piece of the blame, but not the entire one. I put it on Dan. 100%.
So last night was a really fun night in the NBA. The Heat won at the buzzer. Oh, the Heat are bringing my joy back. The Heat won at the buzzer, and the Orlando Magic won at the buzzer last night.
finally hit a shot.
That's right. So great night in the association last night. Juju, you got a top 5 for us?
Oh yeah, it made me think. It made me want to say top 5 buzzer beaters in the history of the NBA.
The history?
Or NCAA. Yes, sir. That I can think of. Also, by the way, also salute. Also to the. We didn't mention this last night during halftime. A brother got up there and knocked the half court shot down for the Miami Heat as well.
It was amazing. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I saw it as well, and then I was taken aback. I was like, hold up. That shot was only for $5,000? That's it?
Right. Right. What are we doing?
Dan should match it.
Like Greg, if you were told that someone hit a half-court shot during an NBA, at timeout of an NBA game, how much would your guess be the cash prize was?
$25K.
At least.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. Weird.
Minimum.
Yeah.
But yeah. OLI, Christian Laettner, Duke.
Of course.
That was awesome. Number 5, Michael Jordan over Craig Elo. Nothing but nets.
Yep.
Number 4, the Kawhi Leonard shot that took 1,000 years to go in for Toronto.
7 bounces.
Joel Embiid crying like a baby.
All week long, and there's the snap count. And all you have
Oh
to do
my
is just
God.
don't flinch. It's a snap count all week, not one time, not one of you all season.
Hello. Look, since you back, another thing with Dan, I'm sick of him. You be hearing what's the line on respectable journalism? Because I come in here and say the Buffalo Bills are surprisingly 3-0. I couldn't believe it. I told y'all, I'm so surprised I'm gonna throw a parade because we are ass this year. Nothing. The Bills start losing. Guess what? He can't even fathom an explanation for any of this. Where I gotta talk to Dianna. Salute to Dianna. I love you. You are my sister. But your boy's been saying a lot of good stuff. Tony told you the Ravens was good 4 weeks ago.
Thank you, my brother.
And now we gotta have on people to confirm that. No deal. No, sir. Number 3, Damian Lillard. Dame time at the buzzer. That was awesome.
Yep.
Silence
Sparked
the
a
entire run. Right. Number 2, Teresa Weatherspoon in the playoffs against the Houston Comets.
Nice.
Oh, wasn't that like a half-court shot?
Right. Confetti was falling from the sky. Teresa Teaspoon said, let's play another one. Salute. Still lost in the series, but salute. And the number 1 buzzer beater ever, come on, man, there's no question. My boy Chris Jenkins from Villanova Wildcats.
Wow.
I see you.
Wow. I mean, I'm surprised that you left off Andrew Wiggins last night. Come on.
Honestly, same. I can't believe it.
That was
pretty
exciting stuff, man.
That was magical. Also magical. Salute to the shipping container. To commemorate the shipping container's big win, we got these Dan is wrong right now. Hoodies and t-shirts available right now on LeBatardAF.com. Salute to Lewis as well. Come on, man. Get your money, brother. I see y'all.
Juju, what are the listeners saying in the chat today? Are they enjoying the show?
Yes, they are enjoying the show. Hold on. I got to pull up one of the best tweets, though, from today. Also, salute to the listener of the day, the YouTube listener of the day, my sister, Becca Boo. It was some hating going on in the chat, and she came in and cleared it up with love.
Shout out
Salute
to Becca Boo, the girl.
I wonder who they were hating.
Right, exactly. Look, I'm not gonna read this one because it's kind of mean. You know, I'm leading with love. I can't say love and then read this negative comment.
Get your Becca
Not
Boo
gonna
on.
do it. Right. And another thing, the Bills' big signing this summer was Josh Palmer. Oh, look out below. We're signing Josh Palmer, Super Bowl to bust. Like, come on, get out of here with these guys. We're frauds.
Juju, give us some polls.
Yes, sir. Of course, I don't have the polls just ready as I supposed to because I'm ranting. But poll number 1, do joggers feel superior to you? 83% of the audience says, yes, they do.
Hello. So you're just running. That's all you're doing. You're running in tight shorts and tight shirt, or no shirt. You're just running. You think that you're better than me because you got up early?
I would think Tony's pro jogger. This is a weird take for you.
No, I don't like joggers.
No, that's a lifter.
Go do something real.
He doesn't believe in cardio.
Putting one foot in front of the other. Give me a break.
You're not trying to be the best at exercise.
Coming from you? Oh,
Whoa,
God damn.
right.
Well,
He
support
does
you.
have a soda drinker's body. He was supporting you, but
My bad.
Don't worry, I'm gonna keep that in the holster.
I need your support.
Sucker
Right,
me,
and
buddy.
and the Dolphins could have won the game in Buffalo if you remember. They was one drive away, if not for a bonehead punt running into the punter from Sealer. Salute, Pro Bowler, allegedly. Worst of the cries: shower cry or car cry. 67% of the audience says car cry, and those are your polls.
You're right.
Thanks, Juju.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Juju.
sorry about your bills.